Yeah, and like for Seungyoun Ha's team, they've just been climbing steadily. You know, they won the Stucelles in Oakville. They were third at the Korean Nationals. They've just been a real steady team that is sort of climbing the rankings. Whereas a lot of the other teams that are in the top 10 started there, right? They had a lot of points to get going on the.
Right to it, right to it, gotta go. Okay. That's fine. 12-3.
Oh, absolutely. I think everybody gets tired of watching the same teams over and over again every week, and so you see the climbers on the thing, whether it's Christina Black, Kate Cameron, all of these teams that you don't get to see regularly, and in this case, Seungyoun Ha, you go, wow, let's see how far you can climb.
Make it. Here.
When watching the draw of the button, I mean, the ice looks just absolutely amazing. Like speeds running about 14.5, and that was for Jill Brothers. She drew to the pin, and then Seungyoun Ha threw a 15.5 on the out-turn side, and it slid. It got to the forefoot. It got to bite the button, but not. So that's fast. That's quick. Nice sweeping ice. Lots of lovely curl. Everybody was taking ice all the way out to the middle of the 12-foot, which is great to see when you can kind of create arena conditions, arena curl on curling club ice. Not easy. What did you say? 15.2. What? Oh, the speed. Oh, the speed. Oh, sorry. Hogline to hogline. So we all wear stopwatches, or if you're practicing, you might have some timers that are set up on the ice so that you get to know several speeds. One of them is what is your split time. That's the time from the back tee line right there that she just crossed at the very end of the house to the hog line, near hog line. So that's going to be a split time. Usually that might be like a 4-second or 4.2, whatever. And then your hog to hog is the distance between the two hog lines. What is that speed? So you really sort of fine tune your delivery so you always know what does a 4 split or a 390, 3 point, that's 3 seconds, 3 point, yeah. What does that feel like?
Line's good for the freeze. We can't bounce on this line. Can't bounce here yet. 14.5. Right to it for the freeze. Line's great for the freeze.
And so Marie will try to raise, in-turn,
nice, Em. Good sweep.
Run back here.
14.5.
Interesting that they came around that super tight guard.
Sorry?
Was she a little tight there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she slid a little tight on both, and then I thought she got them back to me-ish. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Marie Christianson, of course, curled with Suzanne Burt for the last number of years, and they represented Prince Edward Island at the Scotties, and then that's all right. The important thing in every shot is to get something out of every shot. So while you're playing the run back, just opening it up, hitting and rolling for that corner guard is terrific, because there's still lots of rocks left to come where you can still play another run back, or the way this ice curls, you could throw back 8 and get shot.
This team, as you mentioned, Christianson coming over from
Even top 12's okay?
It is, yeah. Last year, Erin Carmody played with Sarah Murphy. They didn't really spiel in much through the year. Jill Brothers, of course, played for New Brunswick's Andrea Kelly, and now with Kelly going to Northern Ontario to play with Krista McCarville. So many moving parts in this game, right? And Heather Smith played seniors last year. She's been coaching for a while, but she was, you know, such a fabulous curler all the time, either, you know, in women's play and in mixed. I mean, she's won the Canadian mixed, she's won the Canadian junior. So it's nice to have her back in the game.
Keep going, go. Very nice.
And because she
15-8.
was
Good
busy
job.
coaching her sons, Ty and Carter, she really never left the game. So she can see a solid half rock, almost a full half. It almost doesn't look like that's enough ice on this. They just widen the broom a little bit.
Team's still getting used to the ice here in the first end.
Well, even though this is their home club, because they just redid the ice and papered the rocks, when you come out here, you're like going, hey, wait a minute, what's happening here? Heather throws a really terrific rock, just nice and straight, squared the broom. And obviously that broom was put in the perfect spot, because look at this, easily made. So that's a great sign. She probably could have even stayed on it, but she played safe weight, right? She didn't want to underthrow it there. And this is a smart way for Seungyoun to call the in-turn side, because if you played it on the out-turn side, if you're new to curling, it would allow Heather then to come down and tap and roll behind that corner guard. So you want to try to avoid that. Otherwise, a deuce emerges from nowhere. I'll get a time on this for us, Rob. Let's see. And the weight was 14.7, so that should be pretty close to perfect. Might slide behind the tee line, though. Look at that.
Line's good.
Wow. It did.
It needs to curl if it's light.
I like this. If Heather plays the same weight she just played,
Line's good for tight.
because she can see, if I don't trip up on all my wires, she is edge to edge there, so she can see the whole rock.
That one just came off, Maury.
I think it's probably impossible to roll behind the corner guard simply because it's so deep in the rings.
I didn't love guarding it, but I don't know what else to do.
Everybody's working on their rotation across the board.
Yeah.
As the game evolves,
I
sort
considered
of that
playing it quiet
whole
with like
idea that
bumper
you
or
see
something,
from
but it's hard
Bruce
to stick
Mouat's
it and
team.
not, like, it's just not a great angle.
Yeah, exactly.
That one was a little bit heavier than her last rock, yeah. But that's because it's tempting to throw a little bit more weight, because you can see the whole thing. So you're seeing, or at least you're seeing edge to edge. So you're not wanting to throw full hit, and she didn't.
This side is better,
But it was a little bit, it takes away the curl. As soon as you increase your weight by half a second or a second, you're definitely... I didn't count a rotation on her intern, but you really want 5 rotations now, or at least 3 between the hog lines, and that'll usually end up to be 5. The rotation looked good, the throw looked good, I think. On the Stu Sells Oakville back in, was that September? 3rd at this year's Korean Nationals, and you just have to look at what's going on at the Pan Pacific just to see how strong the Korean curling program is. I mean, there's just... They are
I
good.
don't think I have enough room to sit too, and even if I do, it's
Both the
an easy
men's
double.
and the women's side.
Same thing.
What did the
Okay.
Korean
Yeah, I don't
skip
really see
play
anything
against
else.
Brad
I wish
Boucher
there
to beat
was,
him the
but
other
I
day?
don't
Was he
see it.
96%?
Charlie's ice.
This is a great shot
I
here.
think we can manage it.
Top
Yeah, I thought she
4,
was never wide on
buried.
me, but I think we can, like
can
when
see
you
a
carved it, it went. So I think we
smidge.
can play with it.
Coming out the out-turn side again, which really shows that in-turn swing. You could tap behind the corner, but she
wish there
can
was
only
something else,
see
but I don't
a
see it.
solid barely a half. So this is one of
Yeah,
these
then she
real
sits
weight
three, though.
sensitive
Like,
shots.
or
You
two at least.
can't overthrow it. You can't
But then we maybe
underthrow
have
it.
a
Darn it,
double.
you got to be good. You
Yeah,
got
I just think it needs to be tight.
And pro side, actually, like if you thin that
Well, I mean,
guard
top 12,
over,
like biting's
who knows
okay,
where your
but
shooter.
no deeper than it needs to
Sometimes
be.
you get lucky.
But she's just running a double, right? So
Right. That is a nice thing, Rob. I mean, they just saw Heather play it. That's a
button,
real advantage
same.
when you get
a little
to
faster. Okay.
kind of follow another player down. Looks like they got to go hard for line right away. Did look like it was this little snug out of her hands when you're watching that. They got to really roll her shooter. They got to roll that big. Her weight
Line's
was
close.
perfect. Just a little tight on that
Line's
slide.
good for tight. Over curling, if anything. Careful.
On ice that swings like this, the last thing you want is to be
Whoa.
tight. You want to get all that broom.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, good sweep. Okay, yeah.
So last
Just with
stone
all
for
airs, we couldn't afford to
Seungyoun
sweep it for
Ha.
line.
Lots of ways you can make this shot. You could be in the house, let her throw it a double.
Really trying to cut down the damage here.
It's better than long, though, I
You
think.
can be tight guard.
Like, at least
And
if
that's
she
not
makes
a
double, I can throw
sin
the same
in the
shot. If
first
we're long and
end.
she
It's
makes
like,
this chase and
all right.
stays there, then it's a hard draw through the port, right?
You keep hammer. Yeah.
The teams have all shot pitch stones this first day.
Really has. Really has. It was just that real nice come around on the tight guard they made early, and now they've.
I'd like to be a little bit more positive. I just kicked too hard to. Like,
And that's all
I
it
was
takes in
sliding too
curling.
hard,
It
and I
takes
was
just
like, oh.
one person to make
I think
that
that
kind
ice
of.
is
I always
fine.
call it the
I
killer
didn't-
shot of the
I
end.
got that
Find
in
when
my
I
face, don't
when
I?
I'm
Like
curling
there?
here, which is a
Like
lot.
T-line back four. We can hold it if we need
The
to.
rocks get dead in the house. So sometimes it feels like it just doesn't bounce the same way that it would on an arena surface.
You guys like this, or you like nosing that other one? We can play this with, like, we can come into it pretty hard. So I'm thinking I throw you like T back four, and then we just sweep it.
You'd get.
Yeah,
That's
we just throw
exactly
it
it. This
forward.
is
I
like
don't know
for
what the intern is gonna do.
for
Yeah.
this team, even though they curl out of
Okay,
the
so
club,
it's probably
and
not,
you know
like, you
some
didn't touch
tendencies
that.
of where
It's
the
probably only
club
2 or 3
might,
feet more than I
what the
just
ice
threw you,
might
eh?
give you,
Okay.
you kind of have to look at it with just totally fresh eyes about what is this doing. Even if you had some knowledge of the rocks, this is going to take a while for it to. It just didn't curl. That was great
Yep.
weight, though. Perfect weight.
Whoa, then. Whoa. Line's good, yep. Hard line. Hard. Hard line. Good sweep. Very nice. That was terrifying. I really didn't want to guard it, but I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I know, it feels just so aggressive. Okay. No, it's good. Good call, yeah. Yeah, so you want a 15 to tee, I think. You can sweep it there easily. Yeah. Okay, good. It was a little scary, but it was good. Okay, I think we go in first. I don't think we need to let them come to us. No. Yeah, let's have a good end here, guys. Let's go.
So we're in end number 2
Line's good.
with Korea's Ha stealing the first end.
Hasn't curled yet.
So leading 1-0. And this is the play you're seeing all the time now.
13-1,
in the 5
yeah.
rock.
Just needs to sit.
No tick. Tight guard.
Trying.
Come around.
Okay, good judge.
And Heather Smith is opting to come around here on Erin Carmody's first shot at the end. The important thing is not to be deep. The other options are you could throw a corner guard. In an 8-end game, it being the second end, it's funny how controlling those even ends becomes a thought right now. So the difference between, well, that's true backline weight, but the difference between throwing backline and then sort of top four, you can see how that one didn't quite curl. I mean, it curled, but not the way you really wanted it to. So now Korea with an upper hand right away, which could lead to some chasing.
Line's good.
And so Seungyoun Kim,
Line's good.
who threw the guard, will now try to come around it. So you see right away, Rob, the difference in sort of straight draw weight and the finish you get versus backline. I just found out, Rob, I'm just talking to Rob. Rob, your mic's not working? Is that the truth? He's saying, he's nodding, yeah, now he's just giving me sign language. I've been talking to you, and people must think I'm crazy. Well, I am crazy, pretty much. I think I can probably hear you go, yep.
Well, yeah, you're not talking to anyone.
But what about that mic in front of you? Now it looks like you've got two mics. Okay, you're testing. We're testing mics. Okay, so what a perfect come around there from Seungyoun Kim, who has been perfect so far in two ends of curling. And now Erin will try to throw, but this looks a little heavy again. So it's slowing down, though. A little better weight than the first one, but still, back 12. You really have to give that to your sweepers in order to make that shot. I'm going to get a time on this one, Rob. So Rob's still with me as we deal with mics.
Let's see if that works.
I hear you loud and clear, but you're sitting beside me, so.
I know, and I can hear you the whole time, too. We're just getting, it's good actually that we're getting feedback from viewers saying that they can't hear
Oh,
me.
somebody's up, rising and shining with us. I'm having another cup of coffee, so I'm going to be on it real soon. So this is an opportunity now for Seungyoun.
We'll see if my mic's working now. We've got some viewers out there giving feedback.
Oh,
so
I
appreciate
love
that.
it. Taya Yang here is going to try to come, and you know, the ideal shot for her right now is just to weld it on. Even just being a biter, you don't want to be deep on this shot.
Now I guess they can hear me, but it's not great. So
Oh, well.
we're getting better. We're getting closer.
I think I would take you not great. I mean, that's okay. That's good.
I'm sure they would take this without me and just you, actually.
No, I'm loving talking to you. So coming around, like, this is just a real smart way to have played this shot. All sweepers are in, trying to carve it in. Do you notice the two Korean sweepers all go to the same side, which is something the Nova Scotia teams are a little slow to do. This swinging over and being like I was in my first national in 1975, sweeping on the same side of the rock, right? And for when you need to curl it in like that
to
now.
push it across. Would you
Nobody
say
was doing anything with those.
Would you say it's Nova Scotia?
The
or is that
road runner.
Canadian? Is that Canadian?
No, you've seen it more. Well, that's a great question. Oh, definitely you've seen it with Botcher's team. I mean, Gallant and Hebert are always swinging over like it's same side when they need it. So they get the fifth rock of the end. You get to peel that rock off, roll it for a corner, and kind of sticks around a little bit. You never know what's going to be damaging. You can roll to the. So Seungyoun Ha will just keep doing the same play over and over again. You know, put that center guard up, and really the positioning of those two rocks is so good that you can't guard them both, though, is the nice thing.
Nice thing for the other team.
It's a nice thing for Smith's team, right? But, you know, as they try to dig their way out of the start of this end,
both of them on it. Trying to get that over the hog line, and they need that over a little bit further.
they need it to curl.
All three of them on it. And finishes a bit there. A little twist at the end.
Sorry, I'm getting up and doing my stand-up thing. Yeah, you can see a little bit of that, but, you know, that's not a bad guard. It's a little high. It's, you know, it's almost a Christmas tree. Just saying. Marie Christianson now with a big shot.
잘 내려오는데.
Now this one's curling. Looks a little light, actually, I would say. Now they got to bounce that big. It was good. Actually, I take that back. It was good enough weight for the push out.
Puts it off to the side.
And you had to play it soft because you had needed the curl.
한 번 더.
So as my mic wasn't working,
Yeah,
apparently
you
for the
probably said a
whole
lot
first
of.
end,
You probably said a lot of things.
I used all my best lines in the first end.
You can
and
repeat
now
them,
I'm
and
done.
I'll still laugh.
I'm done now. Great to be here at the Halifax Curling Club. Just want to remind anyone watching this nice early morning draw. Admission is free here at the club.
So bring us a latte for Rob and I. If you're there.
Or some
Whole milk, please.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
2% for me. Lots of entertainment here every night this week. Gonna have some oysters one of these nights. Brought to you by the Murphy Hospitality Group. Some other sponsors here: PEI Brewing Company, Crombie Reap, Scotia Square, and the Curling Store.
You had me at oyster night. Okay, am I gone? I'm heading to Swift Current to curl in the Canadian mixed with Paul Fleming and Luke Saunders. Do you know him?
Luke, do you know
Marley
him?
Powers.
Do you know him?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Anyhow, we leave on Saturday, so am I going to miss oyster night? What night is oyster night?
Oyster night. Let me look that up.
I don't know that I want to fly on a full stomach of oysters either on Saturday morning early.
Congrats on going to the mix.
I'm excited to go to the mix. Paul and I won that in Swift Current in 1999. Last century, Rob. Were you alive?
Wow.
You were alive.
I was alive. I wasn't curling.
In the
though.
last century, Paul and I won it, and my sister Monica was on the team, and Tom Federley. And so we want history to repeat itself, because I only got so many more kicks at the can. Although I bumped into John Epping last night. He was thrown at Mayflower Curling Club, and I was practicing my lead shots.
Ooh.
I want to make sure I got those lead shots down. I do not want to mess that up. And what did he say when I said, this might be my last kick at the can? He said, it's never your last kick at the can. I said, no, this time I really mean it. But anyway, it's a thrill to be able to go.
Just as you left broadcasting, but yet you're back in the booth.
Here I am. I'm in the booth.
Like
Yeah, this is a nice shot coming up. Oh, did that just rub that front?
I think it just.
Do we have instant replay on this feed? But okay, that was a must make, and they've bounced it. You can see that making contact with that other one that was in the forefoot. Even just getting that to be a biter is huge.
Looking for a little tap and roll.
I think she just feathered that guard.
I think it
too.
just tapped it. Yeah.
If one of your people can tell us, because they were probably really paying attention, whereas I was like talking about Swift Current.
I don't know that I have people, but I know there's a couple viewers out
Okay.
there watching. It's the first draw. It's the first game, but yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome. I do. Oysters are tomorrow
Okay,
night.
oysters
tomorrow
are
night.
tomorrow
Tomorrow night. So you're in.
Yay,
You're
I'm
in.
in.
Come
That's
on
Friday
down.
night, though, and we leave early.
Starts at 6:30. So
Okay, I'll be early. Sure.
early bird gets the oysters.
So she's going to try to play a little hit and bounce here. This could be a perfect Christmas tree. Rolled a little too
A
far.
little too far. Needed just to get a little more of that stone or a little less weight, maybe. Seems a little heavy.
It's an either or. How many
Yeah,
times do you say
yeah,
that? But
yeah.
now Heather, who just saw this, and you can see where they put the broom, so she's probably throwing like a 10.5 second weight. I'll get a time on this for us again, okay? I'm all over the clock. I do love that feature they're doing on Sportsnet during the slams where they give you the split times. I love that. I don't know how they're doing it.
Well, it brings another element to educating people in the game, even for newbies and experienced folks alike. The club curler, it brings a different experience into it. I was playing Monday night here at the club, and we were playing a team who was very new, and they asked, why do people have stopwatches?
Right.
They couldn't understand that.
Right.
And so
it just brings your awareness to, what did I throw that rock? And then you see the split and you go, oh, that's why I missed that shot. Like, it doesn't lie.
And if you're a new curler out there in your club, you don't understand something going on, reach out. Everyone in the clubs loves to give you an answer.
Yeah. Oh, we have all the answers. Yeah.
Might not always be the 100% correct answer.
This looks like a nice shot. Oh, man, that's tight to that.
It's gonna
that's great.
Nice.
Okay. That's a big shot. Like, it gets them out of this end where the end was looking so bleak. And that's where, sort of on Erin Carmody's, the decision in the second end to play the come around on hers early, where she might be still thinking, okay, I know Halifax Curling Club draw weight, but, you know, if you just drew open side or a corner guard there, you're not going to cause there's no collateral damage in those calls when you're still trying to figure out what draw weight is and lead. You don't want your lead ever guessing at draw weight. They gotta own draw weight now in this. They've always had to own draw weight, but now.
So precise.
Yeah, the rocks need to be in the right position all the time. But those were two big shots by Heather. I don't know if that first one did that little smidge tick or not. Didn't affect it, and now they're out of trouble with that shot. Now, of course.
I have no feedback from our viewers.
Okay.
So the auto viewer replay is not up and running yet.
Okay. Seungyoun Ha here will try to bounce this back behind the center guard again.
And get to the hit and just sticks.
Yeah. And so now to grow up that rock that's in the back of the 12 that Erin Carmody put there that looked like, you know, not the shot you wanted to play. You want to play a double on this. It should go over the top of that. I think the important thing is the double to bring the two into play here, right? Now Jill's pointing at that. Yeah, do that one, Jill. I coach this team, so I'm trying not to be.
I was just going to say,
however,
our feed isn't going out to the speakers in the ice, I don't think. So you're
right. Okay.
And I did get confirmation from our instant replay group that it did rub.
It did rub, thank you.
Yeah,
it was just the thinnest of rub. Yeah. Not very often that you rub on a shot and you still can make it. So that's I just think it's the double here all day. Let your shooter stay in the 12-foot, and that's what they're calling. They read my mind.
The instant replay group, one of which will be commentating later, so I know I'm going to owe this person a favor.
Oh, you're going to have to instant replay for them.
I will.
Can't have too many glasses of wine when you're having your oysters tomorrow night. You need to stay on it because you're going to be.
As we mentioned, oysters brought to you by Murphy Hospitality Group, but also we have title sponsors for this event. Stu Sells Realty, the Stu Sells Group, I think they're up to 8 events now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, what Stu Sankey does for the sport is amazing. The sponsorship he does.
Rumor has it he's going to be here.
He is coming.
Yep. Men's event brought to you by Subaru, and the women's event brought to you by Neon Train.
Nice. What does Neon Train do, Rob? Is that a train?
It's the tracks of learning.
See that. Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Train, an online education company owned and founded by yours truly, and happy to be sponsoring the event.
So everybody's in our way, so we're just relying on the television screen like you. Okay, they're clearing out of the way.
Yep.
Looks like now it's going to be a hit and roll behind the center guard.
Now, was that the call, or was that just
Well, I saw the last thing. It might have been just what came down.
Yeah.
Because it did look like originally they were, but they might have changed their mind. Everybody was blocking our view, so who knows? Maybe Jill changed her mind in the hack.
Lines them up for a double here, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, double or the hit and roll behind that center guard, too. You don't need the double if you're Korea now, because there won't be a double back. If you just nose hit this, flop a little bit inside,
get under
advantage
that center guard.
Korea. I just love how Korea throws. I mean, it's so technically perfect all the time. All 4 people, and then every team you're watching out of Korea just seems to really have the technical part of the delivery. So not much can go wrong when you throw it that square, right? Look at it. It's beautiful.
See the sweeper already calling.
And jumping over to the
Right
same
on,
side.
yep.
They knew right away this
Right
is going to be a carve. So that means the sweeper studying release.
push it
The
down.
sweeper knows right away.
And
Ooh.
jam. And
No, but it's going to be 1 and 2. So that's good positioning. If Jill had made the double on her first shot,
right.
now suddenly no opportunity for 2. It's simply an in-turn hit.
Force for 1 here in the second end. First draw of the event.
Yeah.
Team still feeling out the ice, the rocks.
난 빠른 것 같아.
Team Korea.
백터가 좀 빨랐어.
Great to have the international teams. The world is catching Canada. As they
Oh,
say.
they've caught.
You were at the last Olympics. You
They
watched
caught. They
this.
ran away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Olympic, and even the Olympics before was, and close. Look, Jennifer Jones could have been in the playoffs if not for the draw to the button. So suddenly, you know, you have Scotland's Eve Muirhead tied with her, but they get in and they ran with that opportunity, that second chance.
Absolutely.
I remember being in the mixed zone with Eve Muirhead, and it did look like they were dead in the water at the time. And then all of a sudden, I think Jennifer lost that game. Nice hit and roll there. Great weight control by Jill. Beautiful roll. Didn't need it, but nice to get that roll. Nice to see that movement.
So things are tied up here at the end of the second. 1-all for each team. Over on sheet 8, we've got into the third end. Team Jones up 2-0.
Silvana Tirazoni opened with a deuce in the first end, and so she's up 2-1 on Tanya Hilliard. Felix. He's throwing red. He's throwing to. He's facing 3. He's got to make a nose hit on sheet 4 beside us. 1824 marks those big red numbers behind at the far end of the sheet. 1824 is when this club was founded.
It confuses a lot of curlers when they come in. They wonder why it's
love it.
not 1, 2, 3, 4.
We just like to mess with people's heads. But anyway, it's always been 1824 since I started curling here in the, I think I joined here.
A few years ago. Well,
I'm trying to
just
think.
a few.
Yeah.
We don't need to date it, do we?
Well, anyhow, 1824 is so significant. And so next year's let me do the math on that, quick math, 200 years. Wowza.
Big. Has been sometimes called the oldest continuous operating club in Canada. Not quite the oldest club.
Montreal.
But had a little break there. And actually, as part of the 200th celebrations here at Halifax, there is a group working on the history and is going to be publishing a whole series of articles and maybe even a book on the 200th
Bedtime
anniversary.
reading.
Yep.
Not sure if she deliberately called it.
엔드 넘겨도 괜찮을 것
Yeah, she
같긴 한데.
would have. Yeah. Okay. So top 12,
피하도 돼.
and watching a few of Seungyoun Aha's games, especially in Oakville, where she beat Scotland's Rebecca Morrison in the final. As a rule, when she sees a blank and an odd end, she takes it. Now this looks like a corner guard call. No, maybe not. Yeah, she is playing the soft hit. And this was true to what she did in other spiels. If she sees a chance for a, and rolling it to the wings is important too.
Now we'll see Smith call for the hit. Remove that stone.
So in other games that I've watched from Ha here, she'll look to play the blank end here in an odd end
To get it back on.
to get it back on track for the 4th of hammer. So if she really wanted to score deuce here, she'd throw a corner guard right now, because that's rock over there on the side 12-foot
But looks
will
like
never be a threat. But
all in the hit.
yeah, she's really
Committed to her strategy.
scoreboard man. Oh, I like that. She's committed to her strategy. Is that in your neon
See, you
training
like
module?
Oh,
But
it's in my Monday night curling experience.
she has to stay though,
Yep.
because
Ooh.
looks on. Yeah, you got to play
Just
that.
catching.
If she had rolled out, then Heather gets to play the center guard. Now, of course, because 5 rock, then Ha could just play it, still continue with her strategy of peeling it.
And these teams study that strategy with statistics
it's
now,
easy.
right? It's
So
not just
well,
a game time decision,
It's
is it?
not even. That's right. You should know you should know what you're doing, and reasonably. But then what happens is you get a miss or you get something happening, and so you've got to pivot at some point in the end. But definitely, there's enough streaming going on that you can see exactly what everybody's doing all the time. And if you're not sort of studying it all the time, and there's definitely a bit of a big difference between the men's and the women's game, just because the blow-up shot that the men play,
The big heavy hit. Yep.
Now, my understanding is that everybody on Team Korea can pretty much throw a 5.5 peel. So
And we've seen that with some of the top teams in Canada. The ability to throw that heavyweight when they need it is a difference maker.
yeah, just so straight, so square behind the rock on release. It's really nice to see. And it's never easy to stay at the back of the house. That's tricky.
Again, that tendency just to overthrow that one little bit more, as we saw in that first end.
For sure.
When I was
You're not
Not
mic'd, but
talking,
you
I
said
was
some
not
smart
mic'd.
things.
I
Man, you were
listen,
way
thank
smarter
you.
in the first end.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the viewers out there. My mic was not working in the first end, so while Colleen was referencing somebody named Rob and you heard
Right.
him there,
He was here. I
a
was not talking to
technical
myself.
issue.
I was not talking to myself. So this is a shot. Yeah, sure you want to nose it, but if you roll out, no big deal, because you already know that.
well, they already know what the other team is calling.
Yeah.
They're going for the blank. So.
Yeah, so you know that Seungyoun Ha is gonna, throw it. She's thinking though. Yeah, she's gonna throw it in. Because she, I always call it like a little bit of a card game, but they showed us our hand. She showed the hand on the very first. But what I like about watching game tape of this team is they don't waver. They don't dip their toe into another water once they've committed, and they all know this is an end we're blanking.
라인. 페이트 먼저. 안 쓸 라인이야. 룸.
1-1 here in the third.
웨이트 와야 돼.
In-turn
웨이트
draw.
와야 돼. 웨이트 와야 돼.
And sweepers are on this hard.
And that's
Come up.
beautiful weight.
Just on the outside edge.
Thanks
of
to the
12.
sweepers. Tae Yang, the second stone here. As I mentioned, they won Stu Cells in Oakville. They were third at the Korean Nationals.
약간 스위치
And Heather Smith with her first of two here. Throwing third stones, but
Yeah.
skipping the team. Calling the game, I guess. it would
Well,
be. So
Marie,
tell me.
yeah, Marie Christianson formed the team,
Yes.
and we said when we met during the summer, well, let's play with the lineups, because really between Heather, Marie, and Jill,
Yeah.
they've all skipped. Aaron skipped for a while way back, but that one just rolls out. But there's no harm in that to me. There's no harm at all, and because interesting. She's dipping her pool. She's dipping.
It's going to come in.
She's dipping into that pool. That's interesting. And you know what? I mean, I think third end is still really early. That if you see a chance for a deuce,
For a
take
deuce,
it
yeah.
every time. This idea that you're going to just waste an end blanking it.
their shot before, they probably wanted that a little deeper just to set up that there was backing to possibly go for the deuce.
True. You could freeze to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Soft deuce. It's a nice
Yeah.
soft deuce you could score just with an error. And frankly, the way this team throws big peel, they can blast it. They can blast it out if
they need to clean it up.
they need to clean it up. They're good cleanup artists.
웨이트만. 라인 괜찮아. 라인 좋아. 야.
So changing it up here. I would have thought if she was going for her soft deuce here, she would have thrown a corner guard after they hit and rolled on the other side of the
other
house
side,
there.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to get around.
What a beautiful
What a
shot.
shot. It's going to be on just ahead of T-line where they want to stay up there. Not much showing there. Now they're going to have to clear out that guard.
Just a little 4-foot run back
15초 2. 팔이 근데 좀 멀어. 15초 2.
in a spot we haven't seen though this
No.
far over.
몇이에요?
Still got that lingering red rock at the back.
But again, there's two, you just don't want to hit it high
No.
side. You either want
Yeah.
straight nose or a hit and roll on. You want to make your shot first and foremost, but
There's always the good miss and the bad miss. You want to make the good miss if you have to, not leave them with something else, and that kicks it out.
Oh, sorry.
there's an example of on the sweep. When it's hard early like that, you're going to see Korea swing over to the same side, whereas Marie and Aaron were both sweeping on opposite sides. That is,
아웃당 괜찮을 것 같아.
as now you're going, well, you made it curl. you negated any attempt to straighten that rock. So sometimes that's an error on whoever's in the house. In this case, it would have been Jill calling the line on that. That I don't know that we heard the word straight on the sweep. The sweep,
I didn't see
the
that.
communication's got to be so vital where it's not two people sweeping on that shot, and given when you know exactly, thanks to the brooms that measure how much poundage you're doing,
This is
it
overcurling a little
should
bit.
have been. Ooh! Oh wow! What did that catch? That it hit the cashmere and it took a spin and a move.
We've seen in the men's side too. Some sweepers, you'll see them on the same side.
Oh yeah!
Kind of go in front of the stone with their back coming to the skip to try to get that.
Yeah, Brad
angle.
Thiessen was big on that for the and that's good in an emergency when you can't swing around. But all of these players play mixed doubles, so you're kind of used to slider sweeping. And Hasselberg's team does a really great job of it too, where they swing around together. And we saw it with Korea in the second end, swinging around, and they swung around early. It was almost like they looked at the person's release and knew, we got to get over here and hold it on this side.
Brothers with her first of two stones here.
This is where you got to jump on for a carve. So now Marie's
Push
trying.
it down. And that's the hit.
It's always hard to carve on hits. Don't carve as well unless you're really big. You got to be
That extra weight.
you got to be Ben Hebert on it. Yeah. But it's interesting to see with all the sweeping that's happening. You know, there used to be a lot of sweeping rules about, you know, it always has to be this way and it always has to be that way. And now it's almost like just be wide and have your weight close and carve it in at the end, right? It's a weapon for sure.
Well, maybe we'll see the influence of the other teams adapting their sweeping, and we'll see teams adapt here too.
So the blank, of course, back on. You can freeze down to that back red one. That'd be a hard shot.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a hard shot way over there? Let's see. She's
And
playing it, so let's see. And again, even if you don't make this freeze perfect, it puts for the other skip in the head, oh, I got to hit this on this side.
We've seen them down this side pretty much the whole end, actually.
Well, they
So,
made that
you know,
great come around to.
Sweepers are
It's not curling the
here.
same
It's,
way.
a little. I think a little more rotation by the looks of it on that one. It's really still spinning, keeping it a little straighter. Here it comes down.
Heavy.
It's just gonna tap it, I think. Roll off. Yeah.
그 나갈 것 같은데?
So because, you know, as opposed to when they came around that corner guard perfectly, this time they're adding that really the distance from the top 12 to that back 12. You're adding 6 extra feet.
Absolutely.
And so it does affect the curl pattern. So Jill will make this go away. Nose hit to make it a little bit challenging on a blank, although it'd be a pretty gimme blank.
Yeah. Final stone for Team Christianson. Last stone, Joe Brothers. Actually calling it clean now. Has the sweeper on it just to hold the line. They want to make sure. Team still getting used to the rocks of the rink here. The first draw of the Stu Sales 1824 Halifax Classic. Women's event brought to you by Neon Train.
Oh, well, they seem to think that's in, so
Yeah.
we'll trust their young eyes versus.
Look up at the overhead.
I know those overheads are always hard to judge, right? But you're, you know, if I'm looking at that, I think I see some white.
You've still got to hit this well with the backing of the,
I know.
the red. That's this is not a gimme. Although, as we
Close
said,
to a
this
gimme.
team can throw a little extra weight, make things go away. I see you getting your timer.
I'm going to time it just for fun, but
we're going to time
But
it.
I would think this would be just normal peel as opposed to
Yeah.
up peel, because you don't need to. You're not moving a lot. You're just moving one little rock.
And final stone for Team Ha. Sweeper's on it. Must want to make sure. And they make it go away. You
I
were
missed
right.
the time.
You were
I forgot
right.
to click at the other hog line.
You were right, though, Colleen.
was good.
You were right.
What was I right about?
Yeah.
Blanked
you were
in.
right. Blank. A, strategy blanked in, and B, that the shot was going to be
Yeah.
a fairly easy one.
아, 인터. 그냥 그 속도에
So at the
나도 약간 빠르게
end of the third, we've got a 1-1 game here.
Funny there was nothing in play on that. Looking over at the next sheet where Chelsea Carey's playing for Jennifer Jones. I think I'm counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Yeah, we have a lot of stones down there.
13 rocks in play.
Our friends over on the other sheet, Mary Matitall
I think
and
there's
Selena
11.
Thompson, commenting on that game.
Meanwhile, on sheet 1, Terrazoni's jumped ahead 5-1 against Tanya Hilliard's team with a big 3 in
Whoa.
the third end.
어느 정도 밀리냐고? 근데 처음부터 밀리면서 나와요. 그 아까 뭐냐?
So 1-1 here.
진짜 바깥쪽으로 밀렸어.
In the fourth end, the call here would be to throw a tight guard.
Erin Carmody with her first lead for this team from PEI originally. This is her third Stu Cells. And she doesn't have any curling superstitions, according to my little tattletale sheet here.
Everybody has to have a curling superstition, so I think she's lying. I don't think she filled out anything for you, did? Oh, she did.
Yeah, she
okay.
filled out some stuff here. Yeah,
You're
her
not superstitious.
male curling idol is Mark Kennedy. Not a bad,
It's a good
not
one.
a bad pick.
I've heard of
Pretty
him.
safe, I think.
Yeah, a little deep there.
Yeah, a little deep.
And that really, you're in no man's land there, right? Because they knows they got a guard.
Yeah.
She's playing a corner.
라인 그대로.
Sweepers are on it right away out of the hand
라인
there.
좋아.
Looking to push it down.
웨이트 온다.
Now, of course, Heather will throw the center guard on this rock of
약간
Aaron's.
사이드에서. 웨이트 와야 돼. 웨이트 와야 돼.
So we're going to see a lot more rocks in play right away.
웨이트 계속.
Finishes up maybe a little light from where they wanted it to be.
You know, the funny thing about all guards, they almost all seem, every now and then you got to throw high guards, you forget how to throw it, but you
Yeah.
definitely kind of want them in that 3 to 4 foot range, especially on the corners.
Yeah.
But even out front now, you need stuff that's run backable. Is that a word? Unfuckable.
It can be a word. I make words up all
Yeah.
the time, so it's fine. It's safe here to do that.
Yeah, we're in a safe space for made-up words.
Second stone here for lead Aaron Carmody. Looking to
Just
over
you
the
gotta,
center.
you really want to touch the center in the no tick rule, right?
Yeah.
You got, and use just some. Marie, you gave it
Yeah.
2
And that-
swipes on the backward sweep there.
So speaking of the no tick rule,
Yeah.
the no tick rule. What?
Don't tick them if
Don't
they're
tick
on the
'em
center.
anymore. Don't tick them. So the art of ticking it kind of feels like it came quickly and it went away quickly.
That's a good point.
You know?
Really did. But the ticking was a thing since, 99. I remember Steve Gould for Jeff Stoughton's team at the Worlds was just a tick machine. Of course, Lisa Weigel
I was gonna say, I feel like
and
women's
Don
curling
McEwen gets a
really
lot of
put
credit
it.
for it.
Yeah.
They really owned it.
Yeah.
라인 좋아. 라인 좋아.
So this is sort of the box play. You'll see the box shaping up once they get this rock around the center.
I want to bury this in behind and
Kind of popped
finish
out
this
on the
net.
out turn
Yeah,
side.
now it's
Look
just-
at that.
it just spun around. Lively rocks here.
Well, it was a big finish, but that's why that guard is too high.
A little too high, right?
Too
Right.
high. Or if you're going to bury it, you got to come around guards by a foot. You can't play them tight. You got to.
Yeah, just
However, it would be a tough. You can't stay if they're playing that out turn hit.
No.
That'd be a hard. Yeah. So it's fine.
but it gives
And
them
their
something
shot.
to come down to and onto later on.
Yeah. And Heather could have fielded out on this call. But she might be scoreboard managing
Yeah.
right now, too. Saying, oh, we got a guard out front. And
This
that
one?
rock that, ooh, it's dying.
It's just dying off. They really want to get behind that around top 4.
Yeah.
우리 1위. 근데 센터가
Now we're
열리기는
gonna see
해야 돼서 이거 두 개 보면서
The run.
Some weight, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Try to make some of those reds go away. They're lining up.
And they are lined up nicely.
They are.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah. 4-team Ha.
그렇지 않아.
Yeah.
Not for Team Christianson at this point.
슈터가 도망가. 도망 좋아.
Still having a discussion about it here, though,
얘가 서서 얘가
which way they
반대로
want to
서서
come in.
I would say you want the out, and ideally you'd want to roll your yellow shooter
살짝 위에
over
있어.
to the corner guard area, double corner it.
Yeah.
그냥 이거 두 개만 열려. 이거 두 개야 날아가는 게.
Last year's winners, Team Caitlin Law. Year before that was Team Suzanne Burt. So we're in our 3rd year. So we were talking about that. Well, you were talking
Oh,
about
right.
that with me, but you weren't. Nobody was hearing me.
Nobody was hearing. And I'm there. Really, Suzanne Burt? You said Suzanne. You told me Suzanne
Yeah,
Burt
I
had won
thought-
the. Yeah. You had
Suzanne
made
Burt
an
won
error.
The inaugural. Well, that was
Right.
So nobody heard my error except you. Team Caitlin Laws last year. On the men's side last year, Team John Epping. Admission is free here at the Halifax Curling Club all week, every draw, and even the entertainment at night. So come on down.
Wow. Nice.
And
와야 돼.
yelling hard. They get 1, so they didn't get over enough, and that stone just hit a little
두꺼웠다.
square and ends up sticking around. So now gives the opportunity for Smith to come around.
릴리들 약간 쏘는
And Marie,
나오는 거.
a second chance at basically the shot they called
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah. And so this is where you want to go to school on your first shot. It maybe just a little
Was
bit
it the
light.
broom or was it light?
I think it was a little
Yeah.
light. When you want to be 4 foot. They might have, if they hadn't have done the rub, got maybe bite the 8.
Jill's on it right away. Brothers and now Carmody on it as well. So must want to make sure it gets past those.
You need to
top
come by
stones.
you
And
need
this
to come
one's-
by the
this
front
one's
when the
coming in again.
yeah. When the ice is this swingy, you really need the lots of rotation and you need to and lots of ice,
Yeah.
lots of ice, and you need to clear those fronts by
얘랑 좀 비슷하다.
I don't know. You can clear it by a solid foot and be
Yeah.
buried.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're looking
still
you,
cut in behind.
You're wanting the curl in the house, yeah.
So now Team Ha looking at this and all the players coming down.
위로 빠질 거란 말이야.
obviously different angles than their first shot when they attempted the takeout here, but they're still looking at it to see what it does and does it jam over on this yellow stone on
I
the
don't know
12
that it
foot.
Oh, yeah, good, yeah. Yeah, if you'd maybe just hit it hard. You're going to see some weight. Okay, this time I'm really timing it.
Or do they ever forget about the one that's sitting outside of the 12 and just go for the 2?
Well, where are you going to draw around those reds? And it does look, if you made a perfect come around, that then those top 2 that are frozen, that's going to jack right back on the one you put there. So this is a smart call to not get lured into coming around the front.
Still discussion here about, and now, these games aren't timed at the Stu Cells, so unlike some of their Slam Tour events where the clock is ticking, they get a little bit more time here.
Oh, I mean, in the spiels I've been watching so far that aren't timed, people are really not being quick with decisions. Like
the fans may be all right with that. I know the ice making crew isn't always a fan of.
No, because they've got a lot of draws today. Are there 4 draws today?
Yeah, 4 draws.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
All right, so right away, keepers are cleaning. That kind of weight makes
beautiful.
Move 1, 2, and the third sticks in there.
Yeah.
And now Smith immediately calling for the draw in behind that top yellow stone just under the word new.
Good call. Because for them, the force is on here for them. Like if they can, I mean, Korea will keep looking for a way to kind of grow up the yellow one that's in the side of the 12-foot there, but.
You can see Korea here still looking at the stone at the angle where they hit that. Always analyzing. If any of my Monday night team is watching this, we should analyze like they do too.
Yeah. And you know what? I did time that rock, and it was 7.5 seconds.
Yeah.
I think if you threw a 5.5 or a 6, if you threw big, that other rock is
goes away.
Bouncing out too.
Yeah.
And if you're on arena ice where rocks are a little more lively.
A little more action,
A little more lively.
Having been involved in this event year after year, we do get good compliments on the ice.
Oh, beautiful.
For being a club.
Oh, it's great ice. I mean, this movement's fabulous.
Speaks
I don't know how
lot.
old our rocks are now. I can't remember.
They would be 6 years old.
Oh, young. They're young. But were they somebody else's first?
Nope.
Okay.
They were new after the roof collapse. Back in 2016.
This is a nice shot above the tee line. You would have liked to have been
buried just a little bit more.
I guess, but then.
Are you teasing them by leaving it out a bit?
I think you might be teasing them. Sometimes when you see it, you kind of. And she is going to throw weight, try to get it over there to group her reds together. That's going to. Got to play this with a soft weight.
Yeah.
So.
Calling hack
heel weight.
Heel. It's funny to see the switch between calling times for weight versus the traditional heel board.
I do like to, as a skip, I always would call out the speed I wanted.
Yeah.
It's how we practiced, so.
That's how you want to play.
Yeah. Well, I do always say that to everybody. Just practice as you play. Don't change anything once you get in a game in terms of changing anything. Just.
Coming down. Gonna just get by that guard, calm him off. And
nice weight, 11.6. Doesn't roll far enough, gives Heather the
opportunity to roll behind and stay ahead of the tee line.
Yeah.
Be the shot they want right now.
And you've got really 3 rocks to roll behind here and still be shot.
Yeah.
So.
Probably want to get a little deeper than they did on that first one under there, as we saw Korea just take that out.
Well, Heather made such a good shot. It was almost wishful thinking from Korea that they could get a big enough roll having to play soft hack weight. They're trying to carve it.
And it's going to stick nose and stay out. the double there?
아니면 여기도 있어.
Don't think the double's there. Look like they're just going to try to essentially throw the same shot that Team Christianson just did and hit and try to roll under their guard.
Be real nice for them to roll behind those double corner guards because you're going to be above the tee line. And
Of course, having the blank in the last end, they're really gunning for 2 here in the even end.
클린. 오. 클린. 오. 그대. 오. 야. 오. 그대.
Trying to push it down.
와이드.
Going to hit stick out. So a bit of a miss there.
well, it is, you know, I mean, it looks like it's a made shot, obviously. I totally agree. Like these opportunities in an end
Yeah.
where you've got to
Yeah.
make your roll or whatever, and you don't make it. It's just like okay, that didn't do much. That, you know, it's not a nothing shot. Obviously, a full miss would be nothing.
A full miss would be a
but
flash.
yet it's advantage for as Jill Brothers goes down to throw her first rock. Here in the fourth end, it's a real great opportunity for them.
And now
Because a 3 would have been in play if you
Would've
make
been
that
play,
roll.
yeah.
So if I was keeping score, I'd be scoring them a -1 on that one.
And this is the second time for Team Christianson throwing this shot, and they've just watched Team Korea throw it. So third time's a charm, maybe.
Yeah.
Duck in behind. Sweepers are staying off it. Now trying to hold it, and they must be
Close.
close.
Nice shot.
Duck in under, great weight. Tucks in behind, still.
Nice shot. I mean, she can see. She's
bit of
going to
it.
see a little bit, but
Just got to be happy with that. Some fist pumps here.
레이드.
Now Team Korea looking now maybe at the run back.
yeah, it's just always a matter of time in every end when you see the opportunity of a must make of doing it. Just bear down and do it. Easy to say with a microphone, hard to do in practice.
Armchair coaching is awesome. We can say it all day long. Really close game though here so far.
Well, yeah.
일단 위로 이렇게 가도 돼.
We hope all the viewers
1-1 here in the fourth, and of course last end was pretty open, but
here are enjoying it.
필 어때 필?
Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. Streaming
살짝 바깥
who knows where.
틀어져 있어서.
Why don't you let us know where you're watching from? Tag the Halifax Curling Club at Halifax Curl. Love to see where you're watching.
맞아.
Tag your favorite team if you want. Tag one of our sponsors.
I love this
That
view.
was a
gotta
selfless
say.
plug. We do also have a silent auction going on this week.
I saw some Wayne Madod jerseys up there for
Yeah.
Sweden. So this is the outturn run.
Haven't seen a run yet, I don't think, this game. Either team. Couple taps, but
I haven't had enough coffee to remember what happened in the first 3 ends.
we'll get a refill in our coffee here after this. And calling on the sweeper to push it down and try to pull it in. 1, 2, makes it hit, nose on.
The fact that it's number
2.
2 allows Jill
We're going to come around and
whip one around there.
어제 바깥쪽 가기. 좋겠다.
It would take more ice.
몸이 안 몸이 착지가 안쪽이었어요.
those yellow stones not perfectly in line. So where do they want to put this red stone?
Uh,
Right buried or just showing a little bit?
Either or, just don't leave it in a double situation where they, because I think they'd
The separation's pretty good. It would be pretty flat there to get a double. They'd have to be almost behind T line to give the double.
they look like they're changing the call to the hit and roll, which
Okay.
I don't hate. But
They have
yet,
those 2 guards up
sometimes
there.
just lobbing a second shot in is the easier of the 2 shots because that's
Yeah.
she is seeing a solid 3/4 of this rock.
But calling the hit and roll, she still wants to make sure she's second shot after.
You have to be
right?
second. If you
Like,
roll out, it's suddenly a
third,
hit
you're-
for 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes you just say, what's the simplest shot here? The simple shot would be I think the draw. I mean, we've seen it. You know what the speed is. You're timing everything.
Looks like they're going with the hit.
They're going with the hit, which is not wrong.
And obviously, Jill would be communicating with Heather what she feels comfortable with.
Exactly. What do I want to play is really important. What are you feeling? And the problem is sometimes you don't control the roll as much as this, as opposed to a draw where you're just going, okay, we just have to lob this in full 8 foot, even with the other one. This one, your roll could lie in double territory. She's going to try to avoid that.
Final stone for Team Christianson, Jill Brothers, looking for a hit.
Marie's
and
on
roll
that sweep real
right
early.
away. I think they maybe called it that it was down on weight. It looks like it's going to brush that guard.
Now, where does this
Where
go?
does it end? Is it going to jam on their own? Tappers in a little bit and rolls out. So
This is a 3 from nowhere. And you never like to hear hard out of the hand,
No,
like on
no.
that shot, because on ice it's swinging. It's hard for a sweeper to hold it.
hold it. Once it snaps, if you're only catching it when it snaps, it's moving. You almost have to be on it
Yeah.
before it snaps to hold it.
I'm not sure that Jill came back to look at that shot either. I think the decision was made in the hack to play the hit and roll. And again, it's not wrong. It's whatever shot you call, you just have to sort of make it. It's hard to second guess
Yeah,
strategy
no, of course.
on a miss, right? It's not hard for us to do. We can still
Oh, well,
do
we
it.
can.
We
That's
do
what
it. We
that's
can
what we're here
totally
for, isn't
do
it?
Totally do it.
We just had a comment from a viewer in Fall River, Nova Scotia.
Fall River. Nice.
Final stone
Boy,
here.
that looked a little tight too.
Yeah, sweepers are on it right out of the hand as well, and
That looks like it's gone.
trying to hold it. Interesting, they're not on the both on the same
No,
side.
that's true.
I know. So
Oh.
they catch a piece of it. Will they get enough to move it out? And they do, but the
Oh.
shooter rolls out, and a 2, which is what they were going for sure, and a little bit of a
Wow, this
sigh of relief for Team Christianson there.
Oh, a little bit of like they looked like they weren't happy with the deuce. And again, this is ice where when you're pounding it early. That was a great hole. I thought she was a full out miss on that.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a gift for Team Christianson as they kind of, you're looking at a 3.
Yeah.
Instead, the score's 3-1.
3-1. End of the 4th. Little mini break here for the teams.
Not December yet.
라인은 약간 타이트해. 라인 좋아. 아니 짧게 가져도 괜찮아. 짧게 오자.
So the first stone here for Team Korea, Ha. All 3 of them on it to try to get it in on the center line. Wanted it a little deeper, I think, than that, but they're happy with that on the center line. So Smith's immediately going to call for the removal of that stone.
릴리즈 잘 제일 못해준 것 같은데 앞에서 볼 때.
So we have Erin Carmody with her first shot of this 5th end. Team Christensen down by 2 after Team Ha scored a deuce in that last end. On a bit of a miss, they had an opportunity for 3, and their shooter rolled out. Close game here on sheet 2 at the Halifax Curling Club. The Stu Sells 1824 Classic women's event brought to you by Neon Train. Club is open all week, free admission.
사는 게 먼저.
Lots of entertainment. tonight, tomorrow night, Friday night, Saturday night. Come on down. Of course, some amazing curling happening on both the men's and women's side. Today we're featuring a women's event on our 2 streaming sheets, and we'll be going back and forth between the men's and women's event all week. Now, Team Korea calling for similar takeout out to the wing here, and hits and sticks in top of the 8. So trading hits here in the first couple shots of the 5th end.
여기 5.
I'm back with you. I was helping
Traded-
Greg Smith find a breakfast
Greg's-
place this morning, okay? I'm helping.
Greg Smith, all the way in from Newfoundland.
I think he had trouble getting here one year. Yeah, I
They
think there's
did.
sometimes trouble getting in from Newfoundland.
The first year we had a bunch of teams, Gushu and
Trouble.
Smith. We had a freak snowstorm that year.
Oh, and we might get a freak snowstorm
no,
tonight.
no.
Yeah, it could.
Can't
Well,
say that.
everybody's here.
이렇게만 해놔도 괜찮아. 다 보여도 돼.
So we traded hits on these first few
Okay,
shots.
thanks for the dick while I was
No
giving
problem.
restaurant suggestions.
Well, you carried the whole first end for us, so the least I could do.
But I was talking to you. I just didn't know anybody.
It's all good. And here already we see Team Korea
아니 우리
having a
언니
little
이거 하는
question
팀이다.
of the
이거
shot,
보여도 롤 하나
whether they
보여라고.
want to, I think, come into that top 12 or they want to go.
I don't think you want to play around that corner guard if you're in Seungyoun Ha's situation. As a matter of fact, if I was,
오케이. 근데 이거 공간 언니 있어도 나쁘진 않아.
again, it's hard. It's when you're trying to create the
The
force.
force, right?
어.
She's also trying to choke the corner.
네. 우리 어차피 이게 근데 얘가
Take away the
센터가
opportunity
You want-
for
you do-
Christianson on that corner.
Yeah, but it's always risky.
But you don't want it too close to center. You give Team Christianson a chance for a hit and flop under the guard.
So many things could
So
happen
many.
here. It's so
How do you
exciting.
figure this game out?
Well, this is the thing. This is why it's called strategy. You know, you're all making chess moves all game long, and you're trying to make the right call, and you're trying to guess what your opponent's doing all the time. I actually didn't think she'd play the choked corner. But here's Tae Yang.
라인 그대로야.
Nice out turn come around.
라인 그대로. 아니 위로 클린. 위로 클린. 위로 클린. 라인 타이트해. 라인 타이트해줘. 아니야.
Might be a little deep.
Coming in.
더 들어오면 안 돼. 언니 이렇게 더 들어오면 안
It's
돼.
going to stay ahead of the tee. It's going to just on the tee line.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy with that. That's advantage for Heather Smith right
Come
now.
down and
Oh,
freeze.
be shot all
right on it,
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's always a little problem with choking the corner. You choked it all right, and now they also, when they drew up the play, didn't want to be perfectly buried like this.
No.
So
이게 솔직히 롤 줘도 롤이 무조건 되는 게
Yeah,
아니야.
it really gives
Marie
Marie
an
here an opportunity, right?
opportunity.
Aaron staying on this the whole time down.
Just a little light, I think.
A little light. Seen that a couple times with Marie's draws today, so still feeling out the ice. Splits those two reds up, which gives another spot for Decree to come
내가
down and
롤이 있기는
hide
해도
under cover.
일곱이 좋을 것 같아.
looks like the call they're going to make.
오케이.
With Marie's shot, she has opened it up so that if they do come around and they don't position this right, there could be a double.
A double,
And
right.
stay behind your own guard.
Right. Or a opportunity for a run back as well.
And that.
So many options.
Because,
So many options.
well, there always are several options. Yeah, there's a lot of things. I like this come around better than the last come around that Korea called for the choke in the corner.
아니, 빨라. 아니, 빨라.
It was really their only call on this shot, though.
On this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not.
This one's more
They're
obvious.
not guarding their own on the other side.
No.
So this one comes down around and tucks in nicely.
Nice shot.
15초 1호.
Well above the tee line.
Yeah. Really where they wanted their first one.
근데
Yeah.
이거 터치도 안 해서
Yeah.
되는 것.
Well, so interesting how Tae Yang just went to school on that first one, right?
Right.
She knew I've got to
Yeah.
take 2 feet off of this, give it to the sweepers. I kind of like the straight back run on this. But I don't hate this either. Again, as we said, there's always 3 options to play, and it's
Right.
just which one are you going to make? This one's just a driving through a big port.
A little port there to get through. And
Pretty big.
wants to try to roll under that Korean stone on the top 8. And make the hit first. This looks like it's going out. That moved a lot.
Wow.
Now plan B
Wow.
and runs around through. So
That walked.
내가 이게 있어서
maybe just a little bit light.
아웃으로 하나 더
Made that
들어오는
move
거
out.
어때?
Haven't really seen a lot of action on this side of the
Sheet.
ice, and definitely not out to the wings as much, or out to the
탑까지 나쁘진 않아.
outside of the rink, I should say.
뒤로 가면 안 돼. 탑뒤까지 괜찮다고 맥시멈. A는 8이야.
Well, we know curls.
It definitely
Swing.
curls.
Nice swing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, that's one of those where what? You just have to come through the port and make it.
You
but
gotta make it.
Yeah.
You gotta make your shot.
And that was a big over curl.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't matter. A little over curl's not good either because you're racking and
라인 크게 돌아와.
Korea looking to bury another one down in there.
하나 웨이트 와줘. 루미야 라인. 헤이.
Force is definitely on.
force is on, isn't it? May the force be
May
with
the
you.
force be with you. For those watching, if newer to curling, force when make the team only
good
take
point.
one. Everyone likes to get 2 or more. 2 is the
15초 1호.
standard. If you make the other team take 1, normally you're pretty happy with that. And right now, with a lot of yellow stones in the rings, Team Korea really putting pressure on Team Christianson here to get 1 out of this, with all of the yellow stones ahead of the tee line as well.
Yeah.
Which,
Lots of ways to make this shot. You can hit and bounce just in and rub that other yellow one and be partially behind your red rock. Or you can roll it big over to that other one.
탑티. 그리고 8 반.
Maybe distract
8 처음에 8 반.
Seungyoun Ha with that over there if you roll big, and then you get to come around on Heather's second one.
8 반이라 그러잖아. 나 8이라 했어. 계속 8 반 얘기한 적 없어. 8 반보다
This is one of those many options, are
options.
going to all be.
yeah. There's first of 2 here in the 5th end.
난 근데 말은 계속 8이라 했거든. A는 8인데 탑티 그래서 내가 탑티가 계속 깊다는 줄 알고 탑티면 나란이야. 탑티까지 괜찮아.
Sweepers are on it right away.
Nice rotation too. You can come off it a bit.
So
That's
makes the hit,
as
and
good as you could
yeah,
do on that. I thought you might be able to.
I think we saw that stone move a fair bit again.
You did.
going out to
It's
that
curling
side.
nice.
It's curling nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Trust the broom.
yeah.
아니 해.
So now Team Christianson with shot rock.
Shot rock, but it's wide open here. So
Open.
for
오케이. 살짝 바깥쪽 나쁘진 않은데 노즈가 제일 좋아.
I was losing track of what rock we were on, but
This is
Heron
the
Kim.
second. Yeah, second for Kim.
Yeah.
Her last.
클린. 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 얍. 얍. 클린.
That was for something else. I was talking to our ice maker, Adam.
Oh,
It makes the hit. Red goes away, and now
that's a nice
Sitting
position
forward.
actually, because this is hard to play this and get shot. I almost think, and yet you don't want to leave it
lining
there.
up
It's
they're lining up for
quasi in the
hit
control
right now.
zone. Yeah. And that's possible what Jill's drawing out, Can you get the double and roll? Kind of looks steep for the double. I'm just going to want to throw some weight at this.
Team Christianson down by 2. Final stone for Heather Smith, throwing third. Sweeper's on it right out of the hands. Again, going out to that side. Looks gonna get the 1. Rolls over, stays open, so
롤은 가져야 돼.
didn't quite get what they wanted out of that. And now the
It's funny if they had just rolled it that 2 extra feet to be kind of,
almost frozen.
yeah. And I think you would have caught the double by hitting it a little thinner, getting that other yellow one that's behind the red tight guard.
The sweepers were on that all the way. It would have been hard to hold the line as it was to make that shot, let alone hold it enough to hit it thin. So Team Ha immediately putting the broom down for the hit.
일부러 짧게는 안 잡았어. 솔직히 노즈까지도 괜찮아.
And that's probably where it's important for Marie Christiansen to jump over to the other side.
Right over.
And Aaron would move up, and Marie would be close to the rock to hold that straight.
Straight.
좋아.
Yeah. A little straighter, and it would have certainly been a possibility for the freeze, but it's out by itself at the top 8.
But in fairness, Marie and Aaron are a brand new sweeping partnership together, because this
Exactly.
is the first time they've
Exactly.
played this scenario. But Coach did tell them before the game that
Coach always knows.
in the heat of the moment, it's really hard, though, to kind of,
램.
again, more and more you just have to think like you're playing mixed doubles and
Yeah.
or 80s curling and jump onto the same side. There's a nose hit. A little bounce.
Team Ha coming up through the rankings. Very exciting to watch.
I think they've just been climbing
Yeah.
steadily, too. Same for Christina Black
Yeah.
and Kate Cameron's team. Who else is in that?
McCarville's team has been playing well, too.
Yeah, great to see McCarville's team, just playing more, too, compared to Christy usually just showed up,
Yeah.
played a couple of spiels in the Thunder Bay area, it always seemed, and played the Scotties and would be runner-up.
Right.
So this year they're playing more.
And Andrea Kelly now playing with them, a normal participant here at the Stu Cells from Team New Brunswick, has been here a lot, but this year not here. Lots of
Yeah,
movement.
in that group that's in the world rankings, it's sort of Stefania Constantina who's here.
Who's here?
She's climbed up to number 13. She number 11. Oh, look at that! I've got her hand written out. I like to hand write out my.
There's an
Kate
app for
Cameron's
that.
number
There's an app
12.
for that.
I'm a hand write it out. Yun Jung Kim is number 13. Rebecca Morrison from Scotland, number 14. Delaney Strauss from the U.S. is 15, and Christina Black 16. Clancy Grandy is 17, and all those teams. One of them's going to
And
break through. Nice
the shot
Nice
hit
nice
a little bit
shot from
frozen.
Jill. That's a big shot.
반응 보이죠?
But you can see 7/8 of the rock.
Yeah. But it really needed to be shot there to.
You need to make them play it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of. She's gone to school on all of the shots that have come down here. She's seen the curl.
Interesting how Team Korea, really all 4 players get involved in a lot of their calls. A lot of times.
4 brains are better than 1, I always say. And, I always point to Brad Gushu's philosophy where I'll look at the team and he'll say, when it's a problem situation, he goes, what do you like? And he looks at each of them in the eyes, and each of them has a chance to speak uninterrupted in that, So you get EJ talking, then you get Jeff Walker talking, and then it's sort of this real group decision. And I think that's important, that it's not just the skip saying, oh, well, this is what we're doing. Right, because you all have to be invested in the process. We used to have a philosophy when we were curling, don't come off the ice after and say, we shoulda, woulda, coulda done this.
Right.
Decide as a team. Know what your basic strategy is coming into the game, and then decide as a team, what are you doing in this scenario here? They're on that sweep early.
Yep, final stone for Ha.
Looked like one signaled that was more weight than what they were expecting, so she's carving.
Heavier, and this could hit.
That's beautiful.
And pushes it out.
Beautifully done.
So the force is on.
Yeah, you got to be full 8 foot on the draw. Sitting 4 yellow ones. And again, that was heads-up communication when the second sweeper gave the signal that weight's harder than, and they switched so quickly to the carve, like
right away.
Yeah.
So Brothers lining up here for her final shot of the end. Needs to catch
just a full 8 foot.
Full 8 to get 1 and get out of this end down by 1. Out of her hand. Sweepers are just cleaning at this point, so must feel comfortable with the weight.
Weight's 14.7. That should be close.
The art of calling the weight from the front end.
Well,
so
good for the front end not to put a lick on that
eh?
one. Yeah, that is huge.
Yeah. But they get the 1, so.
Whew.
Whew.
She looked like she took ample ice on that. You might have noticed her throw where she was not quite behind the rock and kind of fed it out to that.
Just pushed it out a little bit.
Pushed it out a little bit, so she might have helped her a little bit too to stay out in a different path for a while, because they might the way they were off of that early suggests that they didn't quite get that
the line they wanted
4 seconds line, and the 4 if your split was off and you're going, ooh, this is.
You start playing with your arm more than your push, but she makes it. So we now have a 3-2 game at the end of the 5th.
That was a big point to score there.
Yeah, a miss there, and this is
game over. We'd be just having. We'd be going for the lattes. Over. Yeah. Instead, we still have a ball game.
That's right.
So this rock will be called tight guard. So 3-2 for Ha with hammer here in the 6th end. The Stu Sells in Halifax. That's a high guard, and you'll also notice it's not on center line. You kind of really want it much tighter. So Seungyoun Ha will ask Sujin Kim, come around this, bite the 8 foot. You don't want to be too deep. Let's watch the finish of this rock. They're getting by that center guard by a solid foot. And watch the carve. Like, look at the beautiful curl. Again, you don't want to be coming by those guards too tight, or you're popping out the other side here. I got to say, in the sixth end here, down one, I don't mind a double center here. Two center guards up. Seungyoun Kim looking to wrap another one around there. Rob just brought me coffee on a silver tray, so I'm pretty excited. Hope you're having a coffee wherever you're tuned into the stream. So it looks a little deep, Rob, sliding deep.
And I'm back.
You're back. So that's an error.
Opportunity for Team Christianson here.
They said two.
Early in the sixth to...
Six, I mean, in an 8-end game, these last, when you have two hammers to one, it's definitely advantage for Team Korea, but it's always an interesting game if Heather Smith can find a way to steal this end, force and 7, be one down coming home with hammer.
An exciting game on our hands here, folks. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here. My name's Rob Beliveau, and I have a somewhat well-known curler.
So, in my own mind.
In your own mind. Colleen Jones.
Going to
here
the
with
mixed.
Me. I know, mixed. Exciting. Very
beautiful, beautiful shot.
Nice shot.
A must make from Marie Christianson. And
immediately
no matter where that rock was, you could have bet that Seungyoun Ha was going to go out and try this double peel.
Get rid of those guards.
Which is why, you know, hindsight's a beautiful thing. But if Aaron's second shot for the center guard was just a foot in front of the rings, this double wouldn't be so easy.
No. But this double just
double's not made yet, is it?
No, it's not
it's
made.
Not even made.
And it still only clears them out. It doesn't get back into the rings, and it doesn't clean anything up there. So
it doesn't clean up anything in the middle. Too thick? Ooh.
Two, and pushes
Ooh.
it back. And
She said, could have done
it
some
does
damage.
almost call us wrong, I guess. What do we know?
Wow.
Didn't see that one happening. But clears out the front, and now the broom is down pretty quick for...
And this is where you're going, oh, it's just a guard. But boy, you really have to make this guard.
Yeah.
Not that it'll be the easiest 3-foot run,
No.
you know?
No.
That's not easy.
But they know Team Hawk can throw that higher weight, so they would know that going into this and don't want to leave them with much.
Yeah. Well, definitely just watching their Stu Sells Oakville final in where they were playing Rebecca Morrison, that was a real lesson in solid hitting.
Yeah.
They just hit so well.
So about 4 feet out from the rings. I think in the line they want it.
Yeah, it's fine. And really, it almost tempts them like, oh, what about the one on the 4-foot, right?
Do they? It's almost a little
It's a
baiting.
tempting thing. You know, she's playing the run, or the loose peel, or that.
Tap.
She's tapped at everything now.
Tap. Rebecca Morrison also played here
Yeah.
2 years ago. 2 years ago she was here.
That team's just
Another
steadily
team
improving.
coming up. Yeah, we saw that when they were here. It's great to have had so many teams here, actually, that are playing at the international
Sort of
level.
a who's who,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is. It is.
World champion Silvana Terrazzoni over in sheet 1, playing Tanya Hilliard, by the way, up 6-2. In the 6th end as well.
Say that
Alina
again.
Pets
Say that
is-
again. Number one. Number one.
Number
in the
one.
world.
Oh, and oh,
We
I
have
mean,
number
what
one in
a.
the world.
No,
Wow.
they are. I don't know what the word to describe them. So darn good.
Yeah.
Like they won 5 women's world titles, like unprecedented. So they
great to
changed
have
their
them
mind
here.
from the peel and they picked that out of the 4-foot. But of course,
Opens the door for a draw into the button.
it does.
As we were just saying about number one, I had Mr. Mike Fournier next to us, who just arrived on the men's side, questioning whether we were talking about him or not.
Just talking about him.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
not talking about him?
He's watching his some of his former teammates from Quebec, Felix Asselin. Great to have them back here, the Stu Cells. They'll be on the ice here shortly. As we said, we're switching between men's and women's coverage on the draws.
Just talking.
Just
Felix,
talking.
of course, with Laurie St. George, who is also here playing.
Right? And where did they just come back from?
The World Mixed, which is where I want to go the year after this year.
And how did they do, Colleen? Do
They
you
won a
remember?
bronze
A
medal.
bronze
I do
medal,
remember.
which is
They had a
great.
great run
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
round robin, but
Oh, they were like 7-0 at one point, or 8-0,
something.
I think.
A
Yeah.
lot of O's.
A lot of O's.
They won a lot of games.
Yeah.
So this is a big shot from Heather
Yeah.
Smith as she tries to put that rock back. This is a good situation for Team Christianson as they try to steal this end, right? Essentially, that rock that's top 12 foot is really another guard for them.
Another guard, yeah.
It's coming by a lot. So when we saw the other one come by the guard by a foot, when you come by it by 2 feet, but even still, look at the berry. I like that position of that rock.
And it's frozen there.
I love
so
that. I love it. I love it. That worked
certainly
out.
can be removed, but not easily removed.
이거 아니면 이건데 점수차가 굳이 안 들어와도 될 것
I love
같아.
that shot.
그냥
Because
정말
now they're saying, should we come back here?
나가도
It's
되고.
that tease again.
All the cool kids do.
the tease.
Savannah Terrazzoni with Alina Pats scoring 2 in the 6th end. So they won that game handshakes over Tanya Hilliard 8-2. What I love about watching Silvana Terrazzoni's team is they're just so efficient. They're efficient in their words, they're efficient in their play, and they just there's no airs about them. They just play so well without any kind of, what's the word I need there? There's a word.
Hesitation.
There's no hesitation and there's no ego.
No.
There seems to be no ego.
It's a true team unit, really.
It really is. I'd be walking around with the trophies behind me if I had 5 world titles. I'd be like, this is me.
This is me.
나도 이게
You've had a couple titles, though.
그냥 딱 세울게.
It's been good. Switzerland's always been a strong curling country.
Definitely seen Switzerland and Scotland, all of them really putting a lot of effort into their development of their teams.
Yeah. Well, the geography of Canada is sort of it's tough, right? Because it's hard for teams from the east. You've got to have like a Gushu budget in order to be able to travel to Ontario, and
Stem coming down. They're going to try to tap and unlock that
it's just going
red.
to jam it up.
Opens it up.
I'd say that's advantage for sure, as Heather now will go. Kind of a beautiful Christmas tree opportunity here. Top 4, bite the 4-foot. Don't go too deep.
And talking
Just-
about those teams, a little known fact for some of our viewers may not know, many of our Canadian teams, if not most, all have full-time jobs and have careers outside of curling, that they're not full-time curlers like some of them are in other countries. So
I always say that, you know, the work is a real healthy distraction for you, that you're not obsessing about every little detail. And honestly, like, I've thrown a lot of rocks, and you can only throw so many in a day, even if you go twice a day to the club to play.
Right.
But the advantage to look at tape as a team of other, and just to have everybody on the same page all the time. So not quite the result she wanted.
There,
A little light, but you know, it rubs. So she might have been able to get it. If they got it around that front, I think they would have been number 2. Not a bad.
아, 바깥쪽으로 봐야 돼. 안쪽은 힘들어.
Oh, they're eyeing up that double.
아니, 하나 더 돼. 거의 2개 좀 안 돼. 요 정도.
Yeah, that center red stone out on the new Scotland's logo there. Really still a lot of room for them to nose that red stone.
And you don't, they'd like to sort of hit it a little bit high side and catch that first rock of Heather's on the way out the door. But if they ever miss it, now Jill will go to school on what Heather just threw, maybe give herself 1 inch extra ice and or 2. Because again, you can clear that yellow rock by a bit and still be. She's not overthrowing this. They needed it to curl more.
So gets 1 out.
아니야, 따라갔어. 아니, 마지막에 돌아. 아, 마지막에? 아니, 마지막에 돌이 본거 봤어? 물 멈추기 전에 너가 떠났어. 안으로 돌았어. 이따 봐봐. 최대한 얘보다 가깝게 해야 좋은데. 아니, 핸들. 나오는 거 좋아.
Big shot for Jill. Wrap it around that yellow rock. Just touch the 4-foot.
Well, this draw has been thrown a few times now by both teams, so Team Christianson just coming up late on their last one here. Hopefully can pick up on that and put this in.
Looked like a nice throw from Jill.
Aaron already signaling all there.
This is where Marie should jump around to the other side to get ready for the carve, but when it's this weight.
It's weight high. It looks a little heavy.
언니 최대한 당기자. 사이로 오자. 오자.
2 favors in a row from the teams. That, you know, Korea missing that double was big, and then Jill coming a little too deep. As a matter of fact, even if you were light there and another guard.
It guards that at the back.
You always say you don't want to put that thought in your head, but
No.
you think about pro side all the time. That what if you were 1 foot in front of the rings there?
Do you ever make that the call, though? Would you?
I almost always say
Would you have made that the call in this case, Coach?
I didn't mind the come around to bite the 4-foot, but yet pro side was definitely short. And when I was skip, I'd always be saying pro side's this, which might sound like a negative, but you just wanted them to always think of plan B.
What you're leaving for the other team, which in this case,
What you're kind of realizing, it's not going to be bad if I'm light here.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing here
Because
Team
you're trying to
Korea,
steal.
all 4 of them again involved in the angle, the discussion of where to hit this stone to try to remove both.
And sometimes it's super important for the sweepers to kind of see where are we trying to hit this. You don't want to after you've swept a rock look at the third and go, what, I didn't think we had to hit it there. You know.
I thought we were going high side, no low side.
Oh, low.
Yeah.
There's a lot of discussion about this shot that looks real obvious, though.
A couple times they've had, I think, a little extra discussion than we see normally with some teams. But obviously, again, back to that unit and wanting to all be on the same page. There's a reason they're rising in the ranks, and this might be one of them. So
yeah. I think the first reason they're rising in the ranks is Korea's a strong curling country. And then the second one, they're so technically perfect in their throws. Their throws are really mostly identical, which is, of course, where Curling Canada is trying to get all of the top teams.
Right.
Let's standardize this.
Yeah.
I'd take a Cooey throw. If I was able to throw like Cooey, I'd try to throw like him. Grushu, take that.
We'll get one and just notch the second.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
I think we'll see Canada evolve. We, on the other curling news this year was David Murdoch coming to Canada to help head up some of the high performance.
Turns on a different light switch for sure.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's so wonderful to see what's happening at the international level, that more teams are threatening for world titles other than what it was, 15 years ago.
The dominant.
Canada, Sweden, and Scotland. And now we have more. It's really important to grow the sport. And the Olympics is the reason why it's growing, and trying to create some. They've stolen our playbook for years, and our coaches went over and helped and assisted, and now we can take a page out of other people's playbook because. But at the core of curling is still just really understanding that it's chess on ice. What move do you make? Make more shots than your opponent, and throw technically sound. And with the technology today, especially with the way we time rocks, before stopwatches even came into existence, and that would have been like early 80s, you were sort of guessing, or you'd say,
it looked the same.
That's right. Exactly. So now this is lovely that we've got the technology to go. You just overthrew it.
And
we asked for hack, and you threw board.
Out with iPhones and iPads now, taking video of the technique coming out of the hack. I didn't do that. Well, actually, here's the video. Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did in-out it, or you were wide, or But
you need that dedicated feedback to be able to work on it and correct it, right?
Yeah.
So.
But as a curler, you have to, as an individual curler on a team, you still have to take the responsibility to be your best version of yourself out all the time. And that if you kind of are missing repeated shots the same way all the time, you go to practice and do that on your own.
So Jill here with her last stone, looking for the draw, which was her first shot.
This looks like it's a little light.
And this looks a little light. We see the switch.
And I like that you'll notice, Marie did switch, which is important.
Now they're going to get in, and they just want to try to get in and cut down.
Oh, so close.
So close.
Let's take a look.
Ooh.
It's tough.
It's tough.
I'd say yellow shot.
And once again, we see the team skip by Seungyoun Ha coming down to look, and
just making sure.
I don't think they're taking.
I was very bad at looking at the circles, going, I think. Never wanted to commit to my best or worst eyeballing it. This is where you want to take a lot of ice.
Well, they have.
You
room
want to be
here.
careful
they
of
have
your.
Room. They just need to catch the 4, right?
That's all you got to do. They got a lot of room, but almost still looks like the. Of course, you don't want to get into a whole new path either. No one wants that.
Pretty much been coming down this side of the sheet the whole draw, this whole
really.
Whole end, really.
Wouldn't want to throw an out turn now. But that'd be tempting. Me saying that's rare. I love the out turn. But that's sat idle all end.
Yeah, the other side looks
it's just been sitting there.
A little frosty even.
Saying, what about me? What about this side?
Maybe next end.
Yeah, you'll get a chance.
Last stone here for Skip Ha.
Nice rotation right of her hand. Like we've got 2 rotations early. We're not even halfway down.
Draw for 2. And I see.
And she's given the hurry hard sign with that
like
hand.
They think it's light.
It doesn't look light, does it? Looks pretty perfect. She might have given the hurry side too soon. It's perfect. Look at that curl. She could have drawn around that. You did draw around it back then.
No
Beautiful.
question on the second stone. They cleared them out. No measure, so.
So that's a deuce for Korea. Let's do the math on that. That's 5-2. Okay, 5-2. 5-2, 6 ends, 2 ends to play. This is where, as a team, they don't for Team Christianson. You almost don't want to say, okay, let's get our 3 back. We need 3, right? Just take a 2, steal 1. 3 would be nice.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. Like what happens a lot is that people just get boxed out of scoring.
Yep.
So you throw a corner. They're going to go top 4 here. Korea. Heather will call the corner guard. Korea will go around. Some teams will call the other corner, other
Opposite
side,
corner
and
guard,
then
go
you've
2
run out
corners.
of room
Yeah.
to draw.
Right.
So you're not seeing the double corners only in desperate times of desperation.
Do you stack your corner?
I love I'm a stacked corner girl myself.
Okay.
I'm a big. What about you? I love the stacked corner.
빨라 보여.
Stack them up. Oh, you're hesitating.
And it gives options. I'd be curious to see what they do here.
아니 한 명만.
I guess the
한 명만.
point is they need to dig themselves out of this hole and be aggressive, but not too aggressive.
Right. You
that
score your
they-
2. Or, hopefully a 3. Then you got to steal. You're stealing.
Yeah.
You get your stealing boots on.
Yeah.
But with no tick, stealing's doable, right?
릴리가 강해 보여. 돌리는 게.
So Korea places their first stone in maybe a little deeper than
I
they
would
wanted.
agree with you. Like if we want to be perfect here,
Well,
you and
we're
I,
striving. We're striving
we'd
for it.
say, yeah, I wish that was just full 4, bite the 4, difference of a foot. Nice rotation there from Aaron. As we're trying to put more,
Yeah.
it's a way more aggressive throw for the rotation that you're throwing. When we first started with it, it was like, ooh, 10 rotations down the sheet.
7.
So gets the corner out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to see.
So 3 up. I would like top 12 foot, but
Yeah.
I don't even hate a guard, frankly. Except that their first rock, I think, came a little deep.
So
So
that pulls them into one.
they
of
are
their
calling
top-
it right in the
top
house.
4,
Yeah, full 8 foot.
많이를.
Fill up the house, clutter the button to make it complicated for Team Christianson to get in there.
걸려.
This one taps on that corner guard, but does flop over to the center. Top of the 12, so
아니 밀렸어. 물렸어. 밀려.
not quite the shot they wanted, and we're seeing a stack.
We are seeing the stack.
Are they listening to us out
They're
there?
listening.
It's almost like we know what we're half talking about, I guess. I don't know.
Well, just the way the house is lined up now.
Yeah.
There's options. I actually don't mind, given how that rock rubbed on the corner and rolled to
Yeah.
where I don't mind that corner freeze on the 1 and the 4 foot either.
It's just poking out there a little bit, isn't
It's
it?
poking out a lot. But you're going to have that later too.
Yeah, because Korea's not going to go down there next. Or are they going to try to put a third one in there?
I'd be putting a third one in. Yeah, for sure. Even the guard.
아니 하나 더 들어올자.
So they're
Don't
talking
hate
guard.
either. Tight
Yeah.
guard. Because what does Heather do then? How do you
Yeah. So it looks like they're coming in. Top 8 is the shot.
3 up?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to throw a guard, but I'd be tempted by a tight guard. Make them waste a couple.
Yeah.
Because,
Use up their stones.
yeah. Because if you make this one perfect, I would think Heather would hit and roll behind the, because you got to start
Yep.
getting
You
rid of
gotta
the rocks in the
you gotta
4
get
foot
them
in
straight
some
out.
time.
Sweepers are on this right out of the hands.
아니 라인. 하이라인.
Looks like it might be a little light. It's coming down.
라인 사이드.
It's going to rub on
워워워워워
guard.
I like this. I like this call better than. I like that call. I like where it wound up for them.
이게 나오는 게 조금 좁게 나왔거든요. 근데 안쪽 라인 타고 왔어.
And now they're staggered there, so it doesn't give Team Christianson a straight run back to that one
Yeah.
on the button.
And as Marie throws this, it's just important that your shooters stick around somewhere.
Yeah. They need to keep some red stones. in
Yeah, you
front
need
there.
some red. You need some.
Down by.
You want to
down
decorate
by,
it
yeah.
in red.
So Team Ha 5-2. Christianson needs to keep some stones in play here to get at least 2 really in this end would be nice. Try to steal their way out of this at the end. Meanwhile, Team Ha's probably feeling
That looked like a
happy.
jump. You know, I want to say Marie's got one aggressive curling rock because it tends to over curl, that first rock of hers.
아니, 가드는 별론가?
That's something we'll take in and keep note of for potential future
Shooter wound
games.
up in a reasonable spot.
Stayed in.
And
So
this is again, Ha pointed to the out front guard. I like just the straight up guard. If you're not going to peel
they're
the
talking
corners.
about a high guard now.
Yeah, I like this call. The thing about the 5 rock rule is that you kind of got to keep playing. You got to just say, all right, we're gonna win it now. And that's why on Aaron Carmody's second shot rather than the double corner, which I do love, but they had given you the opportunity for the corner freeze around that
Right.
tight rock. So every end, I do say to the girls a lot, yeah, I never see the same end twice. They're always different in curling.
Yeah.
So what you think works yesterday
라인 타임!
might not work the next day.
아니, 위로
Really, to get this
나가줘.
high and just on that side of center, it takes away
계속 와줘. 너무
Team
길어.
Christensen getting into that stone on the button.
Yeah. Oh, this is probably higher than they want it.
와줘. 워. 아니, 이것도 나오는 거 아니죠? 릴리 잘 못해줬어.
Interesting that they've left what it looks like a tough port, but really
Yeah.
visually it looks fine.
To get to that yellow
Get
stone
the
at the
yellow.
top 12.
Yeah.
They do have their red stone to contend with there. That's just slightly overlapped, but looks like a nose hit will catch the top. I don't think they get the one back on the button.
I think they could.
You think?
Dang.
Notes? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was looking at the wrong TV. Or overlapped on our
Yeah, I
one of
getcha.
our feeds than the other.
I'm buying it.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Christensen here with
Attempted a double.
sweepers are on it to try to push it down. Looks like it's coming in nicely and gets the hit, rubs off their own, and opens it up there.
Did open it up. It opened up to a degree. Yeah, you get another come around now. I would almost be tempted to play not in the rings right now if I were
Put another guard up
Korea.
just outside.
Yeah, because in order to score here, that yellow rock that's in the 4 foot's in a real nice position for. And while it's counterintuitive up 3. I think
But it's okay for them to still want to feel a little aggressive up by 3.
Well, I think a guard is still an
Aggressive move.
aggressive call too. Just knowing that Heather's got a call is going to have to play it, right? She's going to have to, in order to score this
has
end,
to have a good draw.
she has to have a
around.
draw
Yeah,
path.
yeah,
And
yeah.
right now, if you threw just a tight guard,
라인
if you were
타이트.
Korea, I think.
라인 타이트. 이거
However,
걸어줘야 되는데.
ending up
이거 걸어줘야 돼.
high,
계속 가.
so-
워.
Probably
See
not
that?
the side they wanted to curl it over
doesn't
to, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't even the called shot.
No.
The called shot was to kind of come in
Yeah.
and still be middle of that center line. So
이 릴리즈가 안 뺀 거.
So
it opens the
a
door
window
now.
Of opportunity.
A window of opportunity. Can't get under it, but
몇 나왔어?
at least you can find a way to score.
You
And
get
there's
in
still 4 rocks to come, so
you freeze to it now and set up for
they're
your
playing the
next.
full tap.
Full
And
tap.
if you can just tap this to the back 8 foot,
give a little backing.
yeah. Yeah, that ice looks perfect for just.
Yeah. And again, that's the side of the ice we've
Quite
seen
back
them
line.
up and down both the
Wha-
last couple
Curl's
ends,
nice.
really.
Curl's nice.
So teams are getting used to it, getting used to the rocks.
Well, look how much that rock buried,
Yeah.
for Heron Kim.
We haven't seen many misses on their part that way for Team Korea. For Hawk. Smith with her first of 2. Out of her hands. Sweepers are on it to hold.
Yeah.
Looking for a tap here.
Yeah. Looks like you need to carve.
Now they're pushing it in. Weight looks good. They're going to catch it and move it. Just
That's
to the
fine.
back 8.
That's good.
아니, 저 글씨 쪽에서 좀 뻗치는 구간 있는 것 같거든. 아까도 내가 한번 봤는데.
So sitting one, of course, they've got the hit and
근데
roll.
지금 맞는 것 같아.
You always leave them something.
일단 롤.
Yeah.
근데 지금은 안 걸리는 라인이야.
You really want to get a little bit more on the inside of that rock. Maybe duck under cover of those 2 top guards. But
Yeah. Well, it was great weight and looked like
opens it up, though.
like a reasonable throw.
클린만. 클린. 야. 워. 하이라이. 워. 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 하이.
She got the hit. Doesn't look like much of a roll.
Pretty much knows. Leaves it open. Little opportunity here for
It always
Smith
just
to
takes
hit and roll
one
under,
big
eh?
shot to change an end around.
이게 나오는 거랑 릴리즈랑 괜찮아.
trying to dig themselves out of a little bit of a hole here, down by 3 in the 7th. No redstones in the house yet. Need to get a couple in there.
근데 뭔가 고민은 되게 두 번째 거, 첫 번째 거. 아, 두 번째 거? 맞아. 아, 그랬는데 그냥 하나 잘 넣어.
Calling Marie Christianson here for a carve on the outside to try to push that stone down.
Right on the nose.
And hitting nose again. So they don't get the roll under that they wanted.
Yeah, it looked like a nice throw, good rotation,
Weight looked
reasonable
really
weight.
good,
Yeah, unless you wanted to play it a lot softer, but then you might get the big walk with the curl. Sometimes those rolls are so elusive.
Yeah.
When you've got them, they're gold.
아까 내거 스테이 할때 그물을
And you think they're the easiest shot in the world. And then when you don't got them, you go, hit and rolls are really difficult.
센터까지만 쳐도 나쁘진 않아. 어제 얘네 컷.
Again, easy from the booth here. Just roll it in.
Well, we'll see how Seungyoun Ha goes to school on that one.
Yeah. She's going to want to roll in under here. Not leave it open for Christianson to try to return the favor.
Even if you just roll it and show a little of it, doesn't you've got
They have no easy way to it.
right.
Looks like they're calling it a little bit outside right
And
from
so
the start.
both sweepers are jumping on it now on the same side, trying to carve it over. She's going to be
This is
just
gonna be a
nose.
nose as well. So
Yeah.
oh, and actually rolls out a
But
bit.
she changes
so
up the shot a little bit
Yeah.
even just with that. So this
Yeah.
is going to be a straight come around opportunity where you want a skipper deuce out of it.
Yeah.
핸들 썼어.
So the 2 is still available here for Team Christianson. Really need to make this draw though.
You do, and you really don't want it to be. You really want it to be just biting the forefoot. You want.
Can't be deep on this.
약간 앞으로 해서 이렇게.
Joe Brothers no stranger to pressure and high pressure shots. I think 6 appearances at Scotties for Team Nova
She's
Scotia.
had a few.
Yeah, 6 I think.
Okay.
6 or 7. Yeah. A few Scotties appearances on this team between
Yeah,
All of them
between
combined.
all of them, yeah.
Brothers with her first of 2 here in the 7th, down by 3. Needs to make this draw to the top 4. Sweepers are off it. Now they're just getting on. Make sure it's past that guard. It's a little
I would
heavy.
not be sweeping that.
A little heavy. It's going to be just behind the tee line. But
Well, it's buried.
buried, and it's got backing from the
Yeah.
yellow stone. So
날리는 거 아니면
That's funny that I would think she would just follow right down rather than try to. She can see, literally, she can see a lot of that rock. Yeah, she's looking at
yeah, which they
plus half.
They haven't been down this side though, right?
I know,
Like, they
I-
haven't been down this for. I don't even think in the fifth end we were down that side very much. So
Yeah, well, just watching some of their other games, you know, when they see a hit, they take
they
it.
take it.
Yeah,
그니까
but
They're
the
tempted.
come
They're-
around looks real juicy to me to finish the game.
If they get one in there,
근데 나는
top of that.
Yeah, it's not coming
it's
out.
not coming out.
범퍼? 범퍼는 슈터 못 쌀을 수도 있어.
It's so tempting to just to pick that out, though. I get it. No, so really, there's no wrong,
No.
but
Of course, we come back to what
Dealer's
Ha would feel
choice.
comfortable throwing too, based
Yeah.
on what she's thrown
Yeah.
all game so far.
핵 아닌 나는
yeah.
그 말이야.
But based on the game film I've watched of her, they hit really well.
Yeah.
So for her, this might be a gimme. For another person, that come around freeze is going to be the juicy. What do you think Jennifer Jones would call?
근데 여기서
Oh, come on, she's the draw queen. She's
she
the
would
draw
draw.
queen.
She
I
would
think.
draw.
왜냐면 여기서 1점만
Team Jones here. Jennifer, unfortunately, not here, but in her place, Chelsea Carey, playing on sheet 8 right now in a tie
Two-time
game.
Scotties champ.
Two
Pretty-
times Scotties champ in a tie game. In the 8th, tied up at 6. So
And Jones, skipped by Chelsea Carey, has the hammer. Okay, so she's going with the pick out. Oh, that looks so ugly to me when you're sitting behind it looking, going, oh, I see a lot of rocks. Don't be wide, don't be tight. They're both jumping to the same side for holding that straight. Oh, that was an easy shot, wasn't it?
just made it.
Just so
Just made it.
easy. So a draw for one for Jill Brothers.
이게 빠지게 밀려? 아깝게 더 밀려. 그니까 나 이거 괜찮은 줄 알아. 살짝 바디가 바깥쪽이라서 네가 핸드했으면 바깥으로 빠지는 라인. 근데 이게 돌렸어.
Same path.
약간 빠지게.
not what they wanted, but not giving up anything. Going to put in. For a
Well, you
hard
see
eighth
how
end.
you see how you put up your double corners. You never got a chance to use
To
them
use
once,
them. No,
ever.
no.
So when the other team, when you know the other team is gonna, guard up and block you, and make all the play go into the center,
Yeah.
it's makes it tough that the other team gets to throw too, eh?
Yeah. So Jill having thrown the same pretty much shot in the last end to
Wait, looks good. And look at how perfect that
Yeah,
one was
that was
around.
great.
You couldn't
Yeah.
see anything.
yeah, that's great.
Nice one.
세팅 앞에만 서고 열리기만 하면은
So here we are coming into the 8th end. Score is 5-3 for Team Ha over Team Christianson. Ha with hammer going into this last end. Steal a 2.
Can't tick it. Two up. It's like steals. I don't know what the data shows right now for
know.
steal ability.
Without tick.
Without
so-
tick and men's versus women's stats
Yeah.
because the men do blow it up well and
Yeah.
some of the women's teams blow it up well too, but that ability to throw that 6.5 second is
Yeah.
seems easier for the men.
Once again, watching coverage of the Stu Cells 1824 Halifax Classic, presented to you by Stu Cells Realty Team. Stuart Sankey, who will be here in Halifax, if not now, soon. The women's event sponsor is Neon Train, and our men's event sponsor is Subaru. A few other partners that are helping us out to run this event: the Murphy Hospitality Group, Prince Edward Island Brewing Company, Crombie REIT, Scotia Square, and very own local, the Curling Store. So great to have those sponsors on board to help make this event a success for both the participants and the viewers, which allows us to also keep the event free admission, no charge, all week. So whether you want to come watch some great curling or in the evening some entertainment or oysters, Friday night, Colleen.
Come. Prince Edward Island Brewing.
Yeah.
Haven't had that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they have the Gahan patch upstairs as
Oh.
part of the event.
Nice.
So we have all of the various Gahan beers on tap plus more. I think we have about 12 beers on tap up there this year. So different companies, great sponsors, great to have here. As we see this first stone for Team Ha come in, and
Well placed. I mean, I like that they've left it exposed. They haven't gone for like a perfect come around. They want to be able to have access to that rock
to run it back
if
later
they need to.
it.
Yeah. And top 12. This is why it's so hard. Again, this is the beauty of Five Rock is that you got it. They might be up 2, but they got to keep. They got to keep making shots.
And they knew
and they
Smith
have to
wasn't
play.
going to go after that. She's not going.
Right.
after
She
that
has
all
to
day.
play double centers.
Yeah.
And again, those are high centers on ice that curls this much. The high guards are not. We've seen the swing, so this is another opportunity for Korea. Seungyoun Kim to come around, and you don't need to be perfectly buried when you're 2 up. You want to have access to slam that if you need it. And look at that. You come
Coming
by
down.
that guard by
Yep.
that amount.
Now they're just going to
and
push it in, and
yeah, perfect. I'd stop sweeping. Nice. Beautiful. I think I would lob it. Yeah, I think I would freeze to that rock now. Because you need all the protection you can. You need the protection of the 2 center guards. That's the call I like. Be on the C there of curling club. Yeah. She's hearing me.
she must have a good coach.
The problem with the come around at all is that you might not even be shot.
But they have to get a red stone in there now.
They need some red.
They need some red.
And a corner freezing of this is gold.
Marie Christianson here, looking to come down, get full 8, buried nicely between these 2 yellow stones. Sweepers are off it right now. Might feel it's a little heavy.
Coming down, though. It looks like it's coming down.
See if Jill Brothers jumps on to push it in.
This
No.
is where you might want to
It's
call
coming-
the audible
it's
and sweep it around
coming-
and play that first shot.
Well,
you just do this. Yeah.
And we saw
Nice.
Heather putting her broom behind there as that would be the plan B, I think, telling them right up front. So which would be more for the sweepers in that case.
Yeah. I think ideally you'd want that corner frozen to the yellow rock. Anything to protect the red rocks in the.
Yeah.
But this was always going to be the move from.
Yeah, no matter where the stone ended
Yeah.
up.
Collins double peel. Ooh, that looked tight. Ooh, that was a miss.
Miss.
She just looked tight out of her hand.
릴리도 나쁘진
Gives
않은데.
Team Christianson another little
Big.
little
Just
opening here to have.
again, corner freeze to that yellow rock.
약간 안쪽 느낌?
Yeah.
And can still bury behind those top guards. Even though one of them's
It's
not red
fine.
anymore, it's still a guard.
Yeah.
아직 우리가 1번이긴 한데. 이게 2점 펄 맞나?
Big shot here. You see Marie laughing in the hack, so that's good. Pressure. No pressure. Her second of 2 stones. Really needs to catch the top of the 8 here. Nice little freeze on top of the yellow stone.
I'd go for weight.
Yeah, looks a little light. They really got to go on this, don't they?
Yeah.
Got to bite. The 12 doesn't get it in the ring.
빨간 거.
Don't hate it.
이렇게 봐야 될 것 같아.
That's the miss, though, right? Not heavy. You want it
Right
to be light.
on.
That's the miss.
Yeah.
That's the miss. Now they're lining up here to look for a run double. Get rid of some of these red stones.
여기 얇게는 하우스 건드려져서.
Yeah. Oh, I was wearing it. I wish I didn't have to. I wish I didn't have to. Had I known, because it's a really big, awkward mic pack. Oh yeah. I had
All
it
right,
on.
let's see what's happening here with the double.
Gonna get 1, 2, and the red sticks around. So another
Almost.
glimmer for Team Christianson. Did that put it in? No. I think
아니
it's just
너무
outside.
얇게 뿌렸어. 슈터가 이렇게 도망갈 정도면은.
Would have been nice if that was biting the 12. Just a bit.
I think you got to corner freeze that yellow one again because, well, maybe the red is taken away from the run of that yellow. But yeah, I like that. She read my brain again. I don't like the coming back to the yellow one because it's too short a run.
Yeah.
이거 안쪽으로 탄데.
Even though there's 2 rocks out front, you
Well,
don't
and you
see the
risk
yellow
losing your red
long
in the
guard.
back,
But
too.
I just like the.
거리나.
We have some discussion here.
And this is a good moment for Marie to come down and go,
Yeah.
where do we need this? Like, what makes sense?
These players all with skipping backgrounds, so
Yeah.
hard
And
for them to stay at that far line and not want to come down and contribute.
well, I think team decisions are really important. I think the problem with the coming down to the red one right now is that they either follow you down or they can play
Yeah.
something on that.
Yeah.
The angle on the yellow rock that's in the top of the 4-foot isn't great because of the positioning of the 2 rocks that are outside the rings.
Yeah, the high
But I think you could,
yellow.
yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Five, 3, ha. Heather Smith. Trying to come down and corner freeze to the yellow one that's at the top of the 4-foot.
Coming down.
So close to the right weight,
Just
little heavy.
A little heavy and outside a bit.
You know, you could see on that delivery how her back leg was trailing funny, which means that she usually throws real clean, real straight.
Yeah.
But as soon as you see that back leg dangling
Go
out,
fishy a little
it's
bit.
fishing.
Balance
She
just
was
off
trying
a
to,
bit.
yeah, she was trying
Get out to the
to
line.
maybe do a quick correction.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the wrong way to miss that shot.
만약에 다리 잡으면 너무 괜찮은데.
Anywhere out front,
Is usable.
it's usable.
Is
It's
usable.
good. It's going to be a.
차라리 우리가 지금 1번이랑 우리가 9대 0.
Still, Team Ha here making sure they talk amongst themselves and really get a good line at this, not taking anything for granted, even they're up
I would think 2 up.
by
You'd
2.
peel that
Yeah.
center guard. This is where you got to turn around and remind yourself, what's the score? We're 2 up. We have hammer. What's our if we had to draw for facing
for
2, what's
facing-
our yeah.
Leave yourself an outlet.
이거 빨간 거 같이 못 볼 것 같아. 하나만 볼게.
So they are going to take out this
Yeah, I think this is the smart call.
top guard. Still
I'll
don't
tell you,
want
they were looking at the freeze or the bump or the come around so much that you're like, okay.
And this looks like it's well thrown. Opens it up.
I like this. I like
And now
that too. Either or. There or there. The freeze is really nice. The freeze puts Ha's team in a real pickle.
yeah. I mean, that was what they were calling last shot as well. Just now they don't have the guard for protection, but
I wouldn't bother
Looking-
bumping. I would just corner freeze it because then
then
what
they could,
is
they could
what
tee up
will
the bump
Ha
on their
play?
next one.
Yeah. Just there.
If they freeze that, does Ha guard?
Oof. I don't think so.
No.
Because Jill then comes to this back one to sit
To get
2.
the 2.
This is just these next. This is where you just have to make your shot.
Ha might have something in off on their top yellow.
Yeah, freeze, love it.
So good team communication here. They feel comfortable with this shot. They're going to go for the freeze. They've already called the shot once, so they have an idea of line and the weight. Big shot as we come down to the final 3 stones for each team. Hobb 5-3. Team Christianson needing to steal their way out of this to at least force an extra end. Or
And
maybe
Heather's-
even for the win.
Heather's first one went back 8 foot, biting the back 12 foot, so she really needs to take that 6 feet of weight off. Give it to your, trust your sweepers, because, you know, they did point to the guard here at one point. That'd be pro side, you know. This is a straighter throw. Do you notice, like, the back leg is not?
It was.
Yeah,
She
it was
was
just
locked
one.
in.
Yeah, she was dialed in on that one. It's curling hard.
They're going to hold it, though. It might overcurl. It's going to come on
overcurling.
top of it. It's going to be in there and split those 2 yellows. And so Ha still shot, and then Team Christianson 2 and 3.
Yeah, sneaky, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it
kind of
just kinda-
sneaky. Just greased its way over there.
It's not
You're
hor-
guarded.
it's not horrible.
It's not horrible. It's not
So
what you
now-
want it.
Do they replace that and try to freeze themselves?
Oh, I don't mind that. Just hit that one on the nose and take the yellow one, the one that shot rock out.
Out.
Because
Just got to get rid of the red for Ha.
think so.
Don't get too
But they're playing cute here.
a little bit. I was just going to say, don't get too
Cute, but they did get
yeah.
cute. You know, it does look like just a nose hit. Now it's edge to edge on the rock that's at the 1 o'clock position. But for a team who hits so well, that nose hit does look reasonably easy. So she's going to try to bump this up. So whatever you're comfortable with, as long as you make it. Sweepers really have to go on this one. In order to bump it, they might give them a gift of a
they're out
guard.
sweeping. It's going to be light.
It is light.
Or just freeze theirs. Just gets in there, and now all of a sudden.
Well, I don't know how you. I don't know how you. I don't know what Jill's got here.
They can't get to the second shot.
Well, the shot rock is the yellow rock.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, the
So I
shot,
guess-
the yellow stone. They can try to draw in behind it, but that still only gives the.
Well, I might be, it's just my visual looking at the yellow shot, and you're down. Okay, yeah, we're having our overhead. I don't know what they're calling to think that they can.
Because even if they come around it, there's still
Only one.
just one.
I'm just doing the math. Yeah, they're 2 up, Korea.
2 up. 2 up. We're on our first coffees of the day here, although it is noon. I don't know where the time went. Watching a great curling game here. And this is going to come in and just tap that top yellow. Are they thinking to...
Oh, you know what? I lost
squeeze it
count.
out?
That was just Jill's
Oh, yeah,
first
that's just her
rock.
first. There's still
Okay,
2
not
stones.
enough coffee.
No,
oh.
no, they weren't... Yeah. So
Okay, I get it now.
they're playing now to be able to
I'm
squeeze it out.
sharp.
I did refill your coffee there a couple ends
thank
ago.
you.
though.
Thank you. This is a simple nose hit. Or you could throw a guard, maybe.
If they throw a guard, what does Brothers have?
She doesn't have much.
They need
You're
2
right,
to
you
force.
Yeah, you could throw a guard. Or the hit. But I guess the hit might.
They're looking at this. They're looking at their top yellow to try to maybe blast out the red. I don't know that they're lined up for really a jam there. I don't know that you want to push those back right now.
No, agreed.
So now they're looking at the stone at the top.
Right, maybe just nose hit it.
But again, if they put theirs in there, unless they really free something up, could still give room for Brothers with a tap there.
Mm.
Another team discussion here for Team Ha. Coming down to their final 2 stones. Up by 2 in the 8th.
Looks like they're pointing at a tight guard. Yeah.
They're looking to hit this or
That
freeze.
looks so
Just
well.
a freeze.
Or now they, yeah.
It's a freeze. Yeah. really
No,
wanna-
the nose hit looks good too to me, but if you'd ever high-sided, I guess, maybe
if they're freezing here,
yeah.
they
then-
really don't want to miss on the red and tap that to be shot, do they?
Well, they still have hammer coming home, but you're right. You just,
It's-
you're,
Playing with
yeah. You wouldn't have to bump that
tempting-
far.
you're
Yeah.
tempting fate here, aren't you?
Such nice throws. That rock right in front of the foot, in front of the hand, in front of everything.
As you said, very technically sound. Looking for a freeze here. Calling off sweepers. Doesn't have the line. Might look a little heavy. We just talked about
You just
tapping
talked
that.
about it.
Did I talk that into existence? Looks like it's going to come down nicely, though. Might get a little tap on the red, but it is going to squeeze in there and jam that up. And now it's the double there to slash those out.
I don't think that helped them.
I don't think they get both, but
Ooh,
they
they
tap.
get-
They tap the
Ooh.
shot rock. Oh,
I think they're going to be sitting 3 after this with the guard, if you knows that. Right?
yeah.
Guess she should have hit.
Really one of the first ends in this game. We've seen a lot of rocks in play, which up by 2 in the 8th with hammer, you really would have wanted to avoid that, right?
So it's just taking a big, big sip of my green spinach smoothie and blueberries. All the phytonutrients for me, so the brain will work. Okay, this is just a really interesting. You nose hit that, you're sitting 3.
And maybe even depending how that top Yellowstone rolls, it could roll back up.
it could roll.
And
Rob,
be
it could
sitting
roll up. Who
4.
knows? Oh, 4. They just need 3 to win.
They just need 3.
But honestly, I think Seungyoun Ha is going to look at, why didn't I just throw the hit
the
on
hit
that one?
and make it go away. Make it go away.
Go away.
But gives for some good viewing for our viewers at home, wherever they're at.
She'll just has to hit this on the nose.
Final stone.
It's not the easiest shot. I forgot about that rock that's out in. But anyhow, it's still juicy. I'd sweep.
Oh,
Nice.
nice throw.
Okay. Suddenly you're sitting 3.
Sitting 3.
Oh. Now she only has to play that exact same shot and bump it up 6 inches, but 8 inches, foot, 2 feet.
Not a gimme, though.
It is not a gimme.
Unlike
And-
some other shots
and
we said
again,
earlier were...
Here, look, suddenly now the second stone was pointing at the
Yeah.
double over here. Like,
Yeah.
just draw your same shot down and do exactly what you just did.
But there is a little bit of overlap with the red stone and the top 4 that they have to get that angle
guess,
right. It's not a
you know
straight
what?
tap. It's not a straight tap.
True. And I guess, in fairness, if you play the hit on that red one, the worst you're going to do, you're going to go to an extra.
Extra end.
And you
with hammer.
might catch that back one. So this, well, originally I'm going, just play the same shot you just played and tap it up. This isn't a bad call either. This is definitely dealer's choice. If you like this shot.
Yeah, it's going to come down to Ha and what she feels comfortable throwing as well.
And now, but look, the
still-
way they throw a second shot into it, I don't like it. I guess there's 2, but
All right, Colleen, what's your shot here?
I
What are you
love it.
throwing? You're the skip for Team Ha right now. What are you throwing?
wow, the way they keep picking over to here and here. I do like what they're playing. I think the double is there.
So they're trying to make them go away on their final shot here.
Ooh,
Up by 2.
Boy, that looks like they're playing the yellow.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
that
she
looks a
just
little
moved
better.
over.
Okay, thank goodness.
Final stone here, up by 2 in the 8th. Need to make at least 2 of these reds go away, not to go into an extra end.
Ooh, that looks tight.
Yeah. She was a little shaky on that
That looked
push.
real tight.
A little shaky. And now they're calling right on. And is
Oh,
that
they're
over
like,
curling?
go harder.
Is that over curling?
No, it didn't over curl, but
No.
oh, they got lucky. She made a triple. She scored 1. That was a
So-
tight throw. She threw it hard. Guess you don't want to be wide there.
I was.
Whew.
Whoa.
Wow, that was a
Wow.
lot. That was drama
that's a
in
lot
that
for the
last end.
First game. If this is how it is today,
Yeah.
imagine how it's going to be at the finals.
It ain't over till it's
not
over, and now
over.
this one is over. But that was some drama down the stretch.
6-3.
Looking at 3.
Team Ha over Team Christianson in this first draw of the Stu Sells 1824 Classic. Women's event brought to you by Neon Train.
Whew, we're
what a
exhausted.
game! That's quite the warm up for
was a-
commentating. Wow.
That was a big finish there down the stretch there. You know, it was a game that was sort of back and forth, and if Jill had made a draw with her last, she gave an opportunity for 3 there in the 6th end with a deep draw. This would have been coulda, woulda, shoulda been a different game.
Well, that'll be for the coach to debrief with the team after, and then both will be some reflection of that.
Well, I think I thought it was a reasonably
It was a great
decent game.
Yeah.
And Ha made, I think, a strategy error with her first
Just
rock
that-
where she could have just pounded that out.
Got rid of it. Make
Yeah,
it go away.
instead.
Well, this has been a pleasure.
Okay, nice working with you. Thanks
just
for the coffee.
Yeah, well, listen, my pleasure.
Nice
And
working with you.
Maybe we'll be on this again later on in the week.
Might show up.
Before you head out.
To Swift Current.
Best of luck in Swift
Thank
Current.
you.
And thanks to all the viewers out there. Please stay tuned. Or come on down to the club. Free admission, free entertainment. Lots of great things going on. The Halifax
Cold beer
Curling
for
Club.
sale. You do have to pay for your beer.
Beer
Or
is for
drink.
sale, but it's
It's
very,
there.
very, very well priced.
Yeah.
948 South Bland Street in Halifax. Come on down.
Yeah.
And I'm signing off. Rob
Okay.
Billabo, Colleen Jones.
Till next
Bye-bye.
time. Bye-bye.